Warm welcome to the Copenhagen Athletics Games of 2024, coming to you from the Osterbro Stadium. We're just to the north of the city centre of the Danish capital, Copenhagen. This is a combined football and athletics stadium, home to the wonderfully named Boldklubben 1893 and also the BK Jold, both football clubs, and home too to the Copenhagen Sports Association. While the women's discus gets proceedings underway at this annual gathering, and it is a pretty high caliber field, I can tell you. 9 athletes in the field. Lovely conditions. There was an expectation of some rain and wind, and of course the wind can be a help to the discus throwers, but it looks pretty calm to me. There's a little bit of breeze across the arena, and the discus throwers like to have a wind in their faces, coming slightly from their right if they're a right-hand thrower, slightly from their left if they're a left-handed thrower. Well, Maki Saito, second in the throwing order. Nielsen open proceedings. This is Eva Gums of Lithuania. Now, she is a really classy thrower. A 64.98 thrower this year. Went out in qualifying at the European Championships in Rome earlier in the summer and at the Olympic Games in Paris. But Saito, this is from Japan, 58.47, her lifetime best earlier on this year. Anything in the high 58s, around 60 metres or beyond, is fabulous throwing in the women's discus. This is Gums. The stadium record, by the way, is by Austra Mikelite of Lithuania, 64 metres and 6 centimetres. That was in 1993. That record, 31 years old now. So, here is Gums, 19 times the Lithuanian champion. Lifetime best of 64.98. That was in Ramona, Oklahoma, in the USA, back in April. It's a very favourable venue for throwing. That's where Alekna broke the world record back in April. And that looks around 55 metres there or thereabouts. Not sure they're getting a lot of help from the wind. Oh, young and old helping with the measuring there. Big shout out and thank you to all the officials for making this meeting possible. Dozens of world-class athletes here. Quite a few Olympians. I want to say fresh from the games in Paris, but many of them pretty tired, of course. We'll try and bring you up to date with the distances as soon as we can. Now, next to throw, Lisa Briggs Pedersen. Went out in qualifying of the European Championships and the Olympics as well, did Pedersen, the best of the Danes. But that's a good opener, brilliant opener. Looks around 57 metres for Pedersen, the 28-year-old. Won the Danish club championships in Odense just on Saturday. Hasn't broken 60 metres this year, but many times over that mark last year. And that's a nicely flighted implement there. Set her season's best in the Olympic qualifying, 59.81. So very close to 60 metres. She'd like to hit that mark today. The favourite here, Daisy Ozakue of Italy. The 28-year-old was Only went out in qualifying at the European Championships, but she was 8th in the Olympic Games in Paris. She had a fabulous time in France. The 4 times Italian champion hits that one very hard, right out towards the left of the sector, and it's just inside the sector, but comes down at about 55 meters, and she steps over there, gets the red flag at the far end. Not quite sure what happened there. It's way, way out there, almost out of the sector. So, a no throw for Osakue in the first round. Daria Zabawska next to go for Poland. She's a 62.5 meter thrower at her best. Only 60, just over 60 this year. And that one, well, it's about 53 meters, something like that. Something to build upon, of course. Good to get a mark on the board in the first round. Of many field athletes in the horizontal jumps and the throws love to shock the opposition with a big effort in the first round, and that plays in the minds of their opponents. But that one looked pretty modest. So, over to the track for the races that the straight races are being run in reverse order. And it is a little bit confusing because we're used to calling them left to right. But 5 athletes here going to their blocks, only 5. As far as I can see, there should be 6 of them. So Halbo on the near side for Sparta, for the local club in Copenhagen, 13.5 athlete. Andersen in the green is a 12.89 athlete. Keskitalo in the middle, and then Abdul Rashid of Canada. Watch her, second away from the far side. And away they go. Well, Abdul Rashid, I think it is over on the far side in lane 3. Going best of all, though, I think it's Andersen in the green. Hard to tell from that angle, of course, when they did make this late decision to reverse the sprint so that the athletes got the hurdles and sprints, so the athletes got the win behind them. But it's, well, a TV director's nightmare, of course, when the athletes are running away from the camera and there's no camera on the finish line. Let's have a look again at this one. Halbo on the far side there. And Andersen in the green. The best out in the blocks. Leading through most of this race, Andersen. She is a 12.89 athlete. Anything under 13 seconds is international class hurdling. And then when you get down into the 12.6s, 12.7s, you're talking world class. Well, that's a late charge. Does Andersen hang on? 2 camera angles and neither a great deal of help. So, well, the winning time there from Andersen, 13.09. And Kesk, it was who took second place with 13.13 in that first heat of the women's hurdles. Suman, it was who took third place with 13.32. They are all guaranteed a place in the final. It's first 3 who go through by right. Unfortunately, Abdul Rashid is a no-show. She was supposed to be in that first heat. there it is. Anderson, Keskitalo, and Suman all qualify for the final. Yakovsky with 13.77. We'll have to wait and see if she qualifies with that time. So, back to this discus. Briggs Pedersen leads, by the way, with 57.47. And second place, Gums, 55.49 after the first round. With Saito of Japan third, 53.72. Big mark. So, now back to Yeva Gums taking a second round throw. Remember, she opened with 55.49. Don't know if that's an improvement or not. For Gums, if that's the 60-meter line, it might be slightly closer. It might be slightly better. A couple of meters better, maybe. That personal best back in April was her best ever by over 2 meters. That's how favourable the conditions are in Ramona. A lot of people look at it with a slight squint on their eye, I have to say. Right, heat 2 of the women's 100-meter hurdles. And we know the qualifiers from the first heat. They are Anderson winning in 13.09, with Keskitalo 13.13 in second, and Suman third, 13.32. Those three definitely through to the final. There is Morrison, Crystal Amoy Morrison, 22-year-old Jamaican. Has never run for Jamaica, even though she's a 12.69 performer. That was back in Geneva in 2022. She's very much a world-class hurdler. Her best this year, she goes in lane 4, is 12.83. That was in Montgeron back in May. But she didn't do the Jamaican Championships, which is puzzling slightly. Anyway, Haar in 2, Majewska 3, Morrison goes in 4, Jenna Lim 5, Bomber 6, Carlson 7. And away they go. Morrison very, very quick away there. Jenna Lim going with her, trying to get with her on this near side, but Morrison just leading, although I think Jenna Lim might have eased ahead and dips at the line there. Very close between those first three. Good running from Majewska of Poland as well. Look at that hair. Ha ha! First time I've ever seen it tucked in a strap like that. The hair of an athlete in a race. I've never seen that before in some 35 years of commentating, but it does the job. And has Morrison taken it? That is the question. Waiting for that to come up. At second heat. The wind plus 1.2. So quite a favourable wind. Jenna Lim did take it, 13.06. Well, she clawed away Jamaica, and that was a good battle. Well, Osukue in this contest with Jin Lim having won that second heat by way 13.06 to Morrison's 13.22. And then Majewska was indeed third. She was closing 13.24, very tight for second and third. Then fourth was Carlsson, 13.26. She qualifies, as indeed does fifth place in that second heat of the hurdles, Bomber, with 13.50. She gets a small cube beside her name and makes it through as well. Next up on the 100-meter heats. Well, also Kue 53.80, her best. Brix Pedersen still leading in that discus. So Babska right out to the right-hand side of the sector there. Well, 53.16 to her name so far. Has she gone better there? Hall will be next to go. Samantha Hall of Jamaica. She's a 62-meter thrower. Almost 63, her lifetime best. 62.12 the Jamaican has thrown this season. 31 years old now. Gorgeous evening in Copenhagen for this edition of the Copenhagen Athletics Games, the CAG as it's known, and that's a nice throw. That's around 56 meters, something like that. Oh, Samantha Hall doesn't look particularly happy with it. She'd much prefer to be throwing better than that. Real consistency from Lisa Brix Pedersen, 57 meters with each of her opening efforts. Hall, well, she had a no throw in the first round and there moves into third place with 56 feet. Does Hall. Great second run. I thought it was good. And there's the result of that second heat of the women's 100 hurdles. Jenna Lim, Amoy Morrison and Majewska making it through, but so do Carlsson and Bomber. They're the two non-automatic qualifiers for Sweden and Denmark automatically for that women's 100 hurdles final, which comes up in just over an hour's time. Lundberg of Sweden, that's around 62 meters. Well, she opened with a very modest 49.80, but that's just eases just over 50, so slight improvement for Lundberg. But she's down in 7th place and will stay in 7th. The lead still held by Brix Pedersen with her opener 57.47. From Gums, who improved to 56.69 with her second round throw. And then Samantha Hall with that second round effort, 56.15, is in third place. Nobody over 60 meters just yet, and they might not get beyond that. With the wind, from what I can see behind them, that is not favourable. 50.28 for Lundberg. So, an improvement by almost half a metre for her in the second round. And Neve Fogarty as a 56.5 metre throw. That one comes down at around 49 metres. She had a no throw in the first round. That mark definitely being measured, so she's underway. Now the athletes being introduced to the crowd for the next field event. The men's long jump final due off in just a couple of minutes' time. They've had their warm-up jumps. They've warmed up thoroughly. And T-shirts on display. Bertram Bing-Costa of Denmark will be fourth in the jumping order of the 7 athletes out there. He's a 7:39 jumper at his best. Piotr Tarkowski and Andreas Trajkowski of Poland and Macedonia respectively. Almost 8 meters Trajkowski, 7:91 his lifetime best, and Kasper Larsen is a 7:60 jumper. That's personal best this year, the 25-year-old. So we'll keep you abreast of that men's long jump competition. There are the 7 competitors. Helbrat, Mortensen, Egilson, Bing-Costa, Tarkowski, Trajkowski, and Larsen. As you can see, a couple of those jumpers have broken 8 meters indeed. Daniel Ingi Egilson went out in qualifying at the European Championships, the 8-time Icelandic champion. Be interesting to see if he can get to 8 meters today. He's an 8:21 jumper at his best. Now, back to this discus. Round 3. Nielsen has thrown. She opened the third round with a 57.21, so she moves into second place. Saito, that was, who has thrown 52.86, her opener, and then 53.72. She's lying down in 7th place. Nielsen needed that pretty badly, that third round effort, 57.21. It's actually a season's best for Nielsen. That's fabulous stuff for the Dane. She's a 58.5 meter thrower at her best. But what has Saito done? 55.02. So that's a fairly substantial improvement for her too. Saito, with that, moves up into 5th place. She was down in 7th, remember. Now that blue strip over the Lithuanian, Yeva Gums. 7 times she's thrown over 60 meters this year. Can she do it here this evening? Conditions look glorious, but for the throwers, a tailwind is not a help. They want to throw into the wind. They want that wind coming at them so it gets under the discus and holds it aloft as it spins through the air, cuts through the air, but they like a little bit of wind under the implement. And Gums there, a no throw with her third round effort, having opened with 55.49, then 56.69. A no throw in round 3. She stays in 3rd at the moment. Hall to go, Pedersen will go next, the competition leader. She has the 2 longest throws of the competition, although it's really close now because Nielsen has thrown 57.21 with that third round throw, while Brix Pedersen leads with her opener 57.47. There's only some 26 centimeters in it. Gums, who won in Tampere last week in Finland with 58.82, is a couple of meters down on that just yet. Now, next throwing, Brix Pedersen. There's her card. Good, consistent trio of throws. 55.26 with her third round. $57.29 she threw in the second round, but it was her opener that holds the leads, 57.47. It is vulnerable, however. Very catchable by 2 or 3 of these women. And now the athletes, the 7 of them being introduced for the women's pole vault final, an event that the crowds always love. Kitty Augusta Friela Fay of Norway introduced to the crowd. Imogen Ayres of New Zealand. She's a 23-year-old, an Olympic finalist in Paris. She's a really classy performer as the Kiwi. 3 times the New Zealand champion. Gabriella Jonsson of Sweden is a 4:30 vaulter. She'll be third in the jumping order. Then Laura Louisa Grunbeck of Denmark, 3 meters 81, her best. She's a growing force, I think you say. Misaki Morota, 4:48, her lifetime best. 4:42 this year. I suppose you could say anything over 4:50 is world-class pole vaulting on the female side. That is Birgitta Hughes of Norway. And last but not least, Sofia Gaborska of Poland. She's a 4:15 vaulter. So this is, to a large extent, a group of athletes that are building their way up towards world class, although Eris there in the yellow is very much a force to be reckoned with at any level. Set her personal best of 4:60 in the Olympic final in Paris. How about that for timing, for having a wonderful temperament? Now back to this men's long jump contest, where things are underway. Well, Mortensen has opened proceedings with 7:24. Helbrat had a no jump. So did Egilson. That's Bertram Bing Costa of Denmark. Local man, competes for Sparta. He's a 7:39 jumper at his absolute best. And just waiting for Costa's mark to come up. Yeah, 6:87. Well, something to build upon. Early stages. He has jumped almost half a meter better than that. Now Piotr Tarkowski. 3 times the Polish champion, the 25-year-old. However, he didn't compete, even though he's an 8:03 jumper. He's only jumped 7:75 this year, so didn't appear in the European Championships or at the Olympic Games for Poland. But at his best, he's a very, very competent long jumper indeed, is Tarkowski. Now, he's got the wind behind him. Nice measured approach. A nice acceleration into the board there. Very, very controlled and calm there. Didn't look to me like he got an enormous amount of height off the board. Powerfully built lad, isn't he? Well, that was pretty good. That was pretty good from Tarkowski. Mortensen, remember, leads with 7:24. Costa 6:87 in second place. And Tarkowski takes the lead with 7:26. A very narrow lead for the pole. 2 centimetres better than the opener by the man from Aarhus, Torur Mortensen. Competes for the Aarhus club called Aarhus 1900. I like that. Don't do that in the UK, but I like the idea of the tradition of putting the date of the club's founding along with the club's name. Next to go then, Tarkowski of Macedonia. He's a 7:84 jumper at his best, and the target for the lead is 7:26 by Tarkowski. By the way, Tarkowski, with that first round effort, was jumping into a minus 1.8 wind, so the wind is definitely swirling in the arena. Really good speed, fabulous speed there from Tarkowski. I think he took off somewhere behind the board. I wish we could see, but I think he needs to adjust his run-up. Let's have a look at this again. Watch the feet and that takeoff board. Yeah, I think I'm not sure if he got his toes on the board. I think he was somewhere behind the board there. Tarkowski. No mark yet has come up for him. We've had 2 no jumps from Helbrat and Egilson for the Swede and the Icelandic respectively. Now Kasper Larsen for the another athlete from the Aarhus 1900 club. He's a 7.60 jumper. Well, temporarily at least, the board. It has just come up. It's taken a long time, the scoreboard and our computers to update with that distance for Trajkovski, but the Macedonian, 7.34 meters. So he takes the lead with that opener. And that was in still air, 0.1. The wind behind him. Tarkovsky, with that minus 1.8 wind in his face, actually intrinsically has jumped somewhat the better, I fancy. But we shall see how it rolls out. This is only the first round of this long jump. Kasper Larsen next to go. The board, his lifetime best, 7.60 meters. Was he stretching a bit for the board there? Larsen, a no jump for him as well. That's frustrating. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, I had to make a little adjustment actually just before the board. Well, we'll come back to that, and the discus will update you on that. The women's 100-meter heats next up. Now, Jodian Williams goes in lane 4. The Jamaican is almost a member of the sub 11-second club. There is Lange, Anna Urbacher Lange of Denmark, 25 years old now. Competes for the local club, the Sparta club. That's their turquoise colours. 11.77 this year. That is her lifetime best. Looks nervous. And it is windy. There's a fair old bit of wind out there, and we just don't know which direction it's coming at. There's Jodian Williams of Jamaica. She goes in lane 4. Powerfully built. Perfect for the sprints. Lange goes in 2. Gloria Hooper of Italy in 3. Williams there in 4. Adriana Damasi of Italy 5. Lena Weiss of Switzerland's in 6. Voro of Estonia 7. And Jorgensen, Amaya Cruiser Jorgensen goes in lane 8. Well, hard to tell who was responsible for that. Oof, looked like lane 6 to me. Might have been Lena Weiss of Switzerland. She's an 11.6 athlete this year. Well, if it was Weiss, that would be very unfortunate. There's the field. Lange, Hooper, Williams, Damasi, Weiss, Voro, and Jorgensen. Well, the camera focusing on Damasi. And all 7 athletes still there, so it was a faulty start rather than a full start. Lovely setting this little stadium has got with the church in the background there. Capacity of about 4,000 or 5,000 this stadium. There's Voro. She goes in lane 7, the Estonian. It's dwarfed, of course, this stadium by Parken, the much bigger stadium nearby that has a capacity of 38,000, over 38,000, the home of Copenhagen FC, the city's main football club. So the first heat of 2 then in the women's 100 metres. We've had one faulty start. That over in lane 2. Jordan Williams goes in 4. The Jamaican, quickest in the field on paper, should win this fairly handsomely. Langer on the far side for Sparta, struggling at the moment, but Williams is away. Also going very well is Voro of Estonia on the near side with the blonde hair. But I think Williams is going to take this one. She does indeed. Williams, very quick out of the blocks. Very powerful over the first 40 or 50. And held her form well. It is the first three, remember, who go through to the final later on. That final will be at 7:50 local time. Hooper of Italy left a picture. Held her pretty well, actually, for the first half. But Williams, her pickup, very strong indeed. Great running from Ilma Varo to the right of picture. She was... actually in lane 7, and of course it does take a little bit of getting used to this running from left to right. But Jodie and Williams, nice and powerful and symmetrical sprinting from her there. Well, waiting for that result to come through. And Williams 11:37. To Hooper's 11:44, with Olmevoro actually taking third place with 11:56 in that first seeded women's 100. Damasi 11:60, and Lena Weiss 11:75 in that first heat. The women's 100 metres. Second heat to come as we see the pole vaulters in between efforts. As mentioned, the outstanding favourite is Imogen Iris of New Zealand. Bronze medalist in the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham a couple of years ago. What a games those were. And now an Olympic finalist. She's only 23. There she is in the yellow sitting down. Very much a growing force. Has had a couple of competitions since the Olympics, but not really great ones, as we see Laura Grunbach. Right, this pole vault final. The bar is at 4 metres now. Actually, just checking, excuse me, it's at 370, but some athletes are passing several heights, and where they're passing, it's given the heights alongside them. That's what's misled me. Gabriella Jonsson has cleared 370, along with Birgitta Gjus of Norway, the Swede and the Norwegian clear. And Laura Louise Gronbeck has gone clear at 350. But there... a second failure at 370. She has one attempt left. Just Gronbeck, and she's a 381 jumper, 381 vaulter. Well, let's confirm those times for you in that first heat of the women's 100. Jordan Williams, 11:37, winning by a metre or so from Gloria Hooper and Ilma Voro. Those three definitely through. Plus 1.4 the wind in that first heat. So... nice, helpful breeze on their backs as we get ready for the second heat. You might have heard the whistle there, I think, of the starter. Yes. 6 athletes out there. There should have been 7, I think. In lane 2 is Molly Scott of Ireland. In 3 is Mihalinec Zidar. There is Lørsel. Clara Skriver Lørsel of Denmark. She's from the Sparta Club as well. An 11:7 performer. And if that is the case, if Lørsel... it does look like there is a non-starter. Just trying to see where. I don't think there's anybody in lane 8. think Michelle da Silva of Sweden is a no-show. But there is a Clara Skriva Lörsel. 11.74. The best time this year of the 22-year-old. She's very much a developing force. She's long and lean, and to me looks more naturally a 200-meter runner. But let's see how she goes here. Second heat of the women's 100 meters. Remember, fourth place in the first heat was Damasi of Italy, 11.60, and fifth place was Weiss of Switzerland, 11.75. Ooh, another full start. Well, that's frustrating. Molly Scott over on the far side for Ireland. I didn't see anybody come up early there, did you? Very tough to tell, but I don't think anybody came up early there. In lane 3, that's Zidar Mihalinic Zidar of Slovenia. Lörsel with Pereira of Singapore to the left of picture. Pereira is a good athlete. 11.20 her lifetime best. On paper, actually, she's the quickest in the field. Although not this year. She's only run 11.47 this year as opposed to her best of 11.20. So, for the second time of asking, Siragusa there. Irene Siragusa of Italy. She goes in lane 4. The lineup from the near side is Lörsel, Pereira, Turnicic, Siragusa, Mihalinic Zidar, and Scott. Scott at the top of picture for Ireland. Well, away good this time. Really good start there from Mihalinic Zidar of Slovenia. She's leading at the moment. Real pocket rocket, isn't she? Quick out of the blocks. Is she being run down here, though, now at the line? Look to me, maybe, like Turnanic of Serbia took that one. Mihalinic Zidar of Slovenia, fabulously quick out of the blocks. We'll wait and see who's taken that one. Waiting for that result to come through. Back to this discus, however. And let me just update you with the situation in this discus. Well, Lisa Brix Pedersen still leading with that opener 57.47. Well, the Sparta athlete, Brix Pedersen, takes her fourth round effort. That concludes the fourth round, and 57.31. She's putting together a fabulously consistent series. She really is. That is her third effort that's hit 57 meters and bits. Round 1, the biggest, 57.47. Round 2, 57.29. Then a 55 and 3 and 57.31 in round 4. She's not truly dominant. She's only got a marginal lead, 14 centimeters, but she is in the lead in that women's discus at the moment. Now, this second heat of the women's 100, the wind was plus 0.3, and Molly Scott of Ireland looks to have taken it. Or did she? Watch it closely. On the near side, Molly Scott. Now, back to this long jump. Just update you on the situation in this long jump competition. Well, we're in the second round. And the lead is 7:34 by Trajkovski. That was his opener, remember. He's backed it up with a 7:26. And that's Mortenson's third round effort. Third round has just started, by the way. And there it is, 7:13 from him. Not as good as his opener of 7:24. And then a no throw in the second, no jump in the second round. 7:13 from him. Well, he's consistent, but he'll be looking for a lot more. He's a 7:45 jumper. Well, Molly Scott did win that second heat of the women's 100. 11:48 to her. Siragusa of Italy, 11:49. Pereira, 11:53. Wow. So, nice running that from Molly Scott. A season's best, in fact, in that second heat of the 100. And that'll really fire up. 11:48. It's only 1/100th of a second outside her lifetime best. Just flipping around here from event to event, but Pereira taking the third critical qualifying spot in that second heat of the women's 100. Mihalinich Zidar does go through as a non-automatic qualifier. From those two heats of the women's 100. Straight back to the track, though, for the first heat of the men's 100 metres. Just two heats. First three go through by right, remember. And some big names in this one. Adam Jamili. Well, he's a 9.97 performer at his best, the Briton. He goes in lane 3. Agbo in the yellow there. Being introduced to the crowd, the skiver athlete Emil Marder Jair, I think you pronounce it. Excuse me, my Danish pronunciation is a little bit rough at times. But Adam Jamili is the standout name in this one. A man who's had an incredible career. 31 years old now. Sub 20 second 200 meter runner. Sub 10 seconds for 100. 10:29 this year, though. Tells the story. Jamili not quite the force he once was. As we see the athletes load themselves into their blocks there. So, from the bottom of your picture in the red is Simon Larsson, then Morgan Harrison of Great Britain, Peel of Sweden, Askovic of Germany, Despard Austria, Jamili of Great Britain third from the top, then Jaya of Denmark in 2, and Agbo on the far side in yellow. Well, some great sprinting going on there. It looks like Morgan Harrison in the white for Great Britain is going to take this one. He's only 23, Morgan Harrison. Did he take that or did he not? He's a 10:23 performer this year. That's his lifetime best. Looked very tight there, but he did get away well. Jamili, well, that's the sort of race he'd have put to bed very comfortably for many years, a few years back. But as I said, just not the force he was. That's Linus Peel of Sweden in the all red. Driving hard out of the blocks there. Beside him is Askovic of Germany in the all black. Right of picture, though. That is the Briton who's looking so strong. Does he take it up the line? Really good running on the near side, in fact. Goodness me. Really good running. Well, I think he's just achieved something special, this young fella. Let's just double check. Jamili waiting for the result to come up there. And 10:14 for Jahr with 1.8. That's why the crowd were cheering. It's a personal best for him. 10:14 plus 1.8. And a PB. Superb from him. Morgan Harrison second. 10:24. And Despard took third, the Austrian, with 10:40. Just catching up with these results. The discus, by the way, in round 5 now. Samantha Hall has taken the effort with 57.81. Brix Pedersen led for 4 rounds, but she's now shunted down to second place with that open at 57.47. The gap between them is what, some 34 centimetres. It's about a foot, almost exactly 1 English foot. But Samantha Hall, the Jamaican, in the lead in that women's discus now as they get towards the latter stages. And in the pole vault, well, as expected, Imogen Ayres with her opening height pops over 4 metres first time. McCartney, of course, the top New Zealand vaulter on the female side, the bronze medalist at the Rio Games back in 2016, had a good competition in Paris as well. Did Eliza McCartney. And Ayres way over that, yes. No trouble at all for the number 2 Kiwi. Goodness me, she made light work of that. Remember the medalists in Paris, Nina Kennedy of Australia, Katie Moon of the USA, and Alicia Newman of Canada. And Eliza McCartney finishing in 6th equal, along with Molinarolo of Italy and Murto of Finland. So back to this discus, the opening event of the programme. Samantha Hall has taken a late lead in round 5, 57.81. And Nielsen there. Well, she's in 3rd place. She had a couple of no throws, then a 57.21. She went a bit better in round 4, 57.33. So she's in 3rd place. And that's much better, 55.99, but she stays in 3rd place. In fact, not quite as good as her 4th round, 57.33. Very tight at the top in this women's discus. Wow, Samantha Hall, the Jamaican, leads with 57.81 in round 5. Brix Pedersen of Norway in 2nd with that open of 57.47. Hardly anything in it. And then in 3rd, Nielsen, also in the 57s, 57.33 in round 4. So the top 3, hardly anything separating them. Brix Pedersen there, taking her 5th round throw. We're running out of time. Running out of efforts, the Sparta athlete hasn't broken 60 metres this year, but tonight would be a great time to do it. She's had a wonderfully consistent series. 3 of her 4 efforts in rounds 1, 2 and 4, 57 metres, and then round 3, 55. Really gives that a big heave, doesn't she? Nice technician. 56.21, just to underline her consistency. All her efforts covered by just over 2 metres, all 5 efforts. Fabulous technique and consistency. Now, back to the second heat of this men's 100 metres. Well, the first heat produced some fabulous sprinting on the part of young Emil Marayer. I say young, he's 25 years old, the skiver athlete, but he won in a personal best of 10.14 with a 1.8 win. The win was just legal, nice helpful win for Jer. Now, Afrifa of the Netherlands goes in lane 5. He's a 10.18 performer. They know the conditions are good. It's quite a quick track. And the wind is really helping these athletes tonight in these straight events, the hurdles and the sprints. Tobias Larsen goes in lane 1. Over on the far side. Lane 8 is empty. Looks like Emil Freinda of Norway is a Sparta athlete. Maybe he's been pushed in, actually. Andy Robertson of Great Britain was due to be in 7. I think Freinda is in 7. There is Afrifa. Well, full start, but it gives me a chance to give you more information on the 7 athletes out there. It'd be nice if we could have a look at their names and numbers, just in case there has been a change in lanes. In lane 3, that's Tor Grimson. Christopher Tor Grimson. The Icelander is a 10.58 athlete. Oh, and it is a red card. It is a red card. There's the result of the first heat. Of Jair, 10.14, a personal best ahead of Morgan Harrison, 10.25. Oh, and that's really harsh. That's tough. For the athlete in lane 6, that's Nazarov of Estonia. That should be Karl-Erik Nazarov. Well, the equipment doesn't lie, but it can be interpreted differently. So Freinda is out there. Yes, I thought I saw that turquoise vest. Ooh, I tell you what. Didn't Freinda twitch there in lane 7? So, is he running under protest? Or has he just decided to... give it a go here? Hard to tell. Freinda goes in 7. That was supposed to be Andy Robertson, and the Briton looks like he is an absentee. Nazarov there in the all black. To the left of picture, Afrifa. Mindset. Even Mindset of Norway. He's in lane 2, towards the inside of the track. So line up from the inside is Larsen of Denmark, a Sparta athlete, 10.5 this year, but he's a 10.2 athlete as best. Mindset of Norway goes in 2. Tor Grimson of Iceland in 3. Then Kojo Musa of Denmark in 4. He's from the Aarhus club. Elvis Afrifa of the Netherlands in 5. Nazarov goes in 6 for Estonia. And in the turquoise nearest the camera is the Dane, the local Sparta man, Emil Freinda. Good this time. And a really good start there from Nazarov. Also going through strongly is Musa now of Denmark. I think Musa might be taking this one. Yeah, in that blue strip. Very, very impressive indeed. Well, what time has he been given? Waiting for that result to come through. Remember, it is the first 3 who go through by right. The 4th placer in this one, or rather the 5th placer, is looking to better the 4th placer of the first heat, which was Askovic of Germany, 10.42. Did Nazarov take this one? It certainly looked like it. No, it wasn't. It was Musa coming through in this second half. And actually very tight for second place, goodness me. Musa 10.34 is a winning time. The wind +1, by the way, on that one. In the first heat, it was +1.8. That's why some people are against fastest losers or non-automatic qualifiers, because it's such an advantage if you can get a stronger wind in your heat. Well, Musa 10:34, and it's taking a while for the other times to be to come up. Afrifa second, 10:44. So exactly a tenth of a second down. 10:34 for Musa, 10:44 for Afrifa. As we can go back to this discus now. Samantha Hall still leads. We're in the 6th and final round. Zabavska. Well, she's down in 7th place. She's had 3 no throws. Her best was actually her opener, was her second round effort, excuse me, 54.45 by the poll. Well, she's a 60-meter thrower this year, so it's not been a good day at the office for Zabavska. 29 years old, very experienced. But she opened with a 53-meter effort, then the 54.45, then a no throw. 52 meters in round 4, and then fouls out in round 5 and round 6, I'm afraid, Zabavska. So she finishes in 7th place. Now, Saito. Well, she's a 58-meter thrower, but her best tonight, 55 meters, 55.02. That came in round 3. And her final effort there, 52.84. So she's not happy either. Finishes in 6th place, Maki Saito of Japan. Next to go is the competition leader, Samantha Hall. She left it very late, the Jamaican. 57.81 in round 5. Can she ease away from the others? Remember, Brix Pedersen, the local, the Sparta athlete, is only a few centimeters down with 57.47. She's 34 centimeters down. Oh, no, that one hits the cage. What a shame. But she has the lead. And Hall will watch these next few throws with quite a lot of nerves. Opened with a no throw, then 56.15. Then 55.72. She didn't really hit her straps until round 5 when she hit that 57.81. And another no throw. So 3 of her 6 efforts were no throws. But she has that lead. Yeva Gums now. She's down in 4th place, the Lithuanian. 56.69. It's all or nothing now, and that looks a similar sort of distance. Looks around 57 meters. She's had a pretty consistent series. She opened with a 55, then a 56, then a no throw, followed by in round 4, 53, and then a 54 in round 5. And that might be a slight improvement for Gums. Waiting for the mark to come up. Has she improved? 57.08. She does indeed improve, but it doesn't improve her position because Nielsen ahead of her has thrown 57.33. So ironically, even though she finds a little bit more and gets up there amongst the 57s, it is no improvement for Gums. And she's a 64-meter thrower this year. She threw in the European Championships and in Paris for Lithuania. Now Nielsen. And that again, I don't think is an improvement. Looks around 55 meters. Well, she's all smiles. Finishes in 3rd place. She too took a while to get into it. A couple of no throws and then a 57 meter effort, 57.21. Then in round 4, the big one, 57.33. And then 55 meters in round 5 and 54 meters in round 6. So she finishes in 3rd place. Now, only Brix Pedersen to throw. And only she can deny the Jamaican Samantha Hall the victory. It's been a very, very tight competition. Nielsen 57.33 in third. Hall leads with 57.81. Between them, this athlete, Lisa Briggs Pedersen of the local club Sparta. 57.47 was her opener. She hasn't been able to improve on that, even though she's had two other efforts over 57 metres. She needs to find 34 centimetres here. Has she done enough? I don't think so. No, it's about 55, there or thereabouts. That's a shame. But it does mean the winner of the women's discus is the Jamaican, Samantha Hall. And that, perhaps a bit of an upset. Gooms is thrown almost 65 metres this year. Briggs Pedersen, well, she hasn't broached 60 metres this year. Her season's best is 59.81. That was actually in the Olympic qualifying, her season's best. Although she didn't make the final in Paris. The 6 times Danish champion. And she closes her account with that 54-metre effort. 54.33. Nice competition, though. Really tight at the top. 57.81 to Samantha Hall of Jamaica. 57.47 to Briggs Pedersen, Lisa Briggs Pedersen of Denmark. And then 57.33 for Anna-Sophia Hartmann Nielsen of Denmark in third place. 57.33. A season's best for her in third. That her consolation for not getting in the top pairing. And confirmation of that win for Samantha Hall of Jamaica, 57.81 ahead of Briggs Pedersen, Lisa Briggs Pedersen, 57.47. Season's best for Anna-Sophia Hartmann Nielsen in third place. With down in ninth place, Niamh Fogarty. Only one valid effort from her first 3 efforts, 48.89 in round 2. Well, back to this track now. And it is the women's 800 metres final. And quite a classy lineup, this one. There in lane 4, Wilma Nielsen. She's a 2:00 athlete. She's almost broken 2 minutes. Keegan, McKenna Keegan, semi-finalist in the US Olympic trials, run 1:59.8 this year. Townsend, Addie Townsend of Canada, and Dummink, both of them have run personal bests of 2:01, and then the inside lanes shared by Marlene Ingeborg Nieuwfors and Annelies Niesen of Belgium. There are 2:02 and 2:03 athletes, respectively. Well, look here for strong running from Helen Schlachtenhaufen of the USA. She's a 1:59 athlete this year. Erin Wallace of Great Britain, 1:59.20 this year. She did that in a BMC race, British Milers Club race, back in late May. In Manchester, the Giffnock North AC athlete runs for Scotland. Now, Sarah Billings goes in this race as well for Australia, the Victorian athlete. I wonder if she can break 2 minutes here. She's been knocking on the door of 2 minutes all season. But it is really pretty quick, this first 300. You can tell that from the single file as they go through 300 there in about 43 seconds. It looks pretty quick to me. Now, they go to 400. About 58.5 at 400 metres. This women's 800-metre field. The meeting record is perfectly achievable. It's 1:59.78 by Ruth Wysocki of the USA back in 1995. It's 29 years old. Can they deny it a 30th birthday? That meeting record as they head down the back straight. And Nielsen giving a strong run there in the colours of the local club Sparta. 200 metres to run. And there's still 5 athletes up there. Really tight, this one, as they come round the crown of the bend. Anybody's race. Pack of 3 chasing hard and 1 to others tailing away. Schlachtenhaufen, though, it is for the USA who leads at the moment. Is she going to be caught? It's going to be very tight at the line. Schlachtenhaufen, that strange forward-leaning style of hers, hangs on to get to the line there, just outside 2 minutes. Clock doesn't stop, but I reckon it was about 2 minutes and half a second for Schlachtenhaufen, the 29-year-old American. Semi-finalist in the Olympic trials at 800 metres and 8th in the Olympic trials at 1,500 metres. Set her lifetime best 1:59.97 at Concord, Massachusetts, back in early June. She does have a sub 4-minute 1,500 metre personal best, though. She's strong. That's how she was able to hold them off down the home straight. Really good, determined running from Schlachtenhaufen. They couldn't make any impression on that narrow lead all the way down the home straight. There wasn't a great deal of position changing all the way down the home straight. So, what time did they end up with? Let's have a look. Just waiting for the results to come through. The clock, as we saw, trackside didn't stop. Schlachtenhaufen hit the front there from Nielsen. Bennett back in on the inside, working very hard to come through. That's Anna Camp-Bennett of the USA. She's a 2:00.5 athlete. There's several athletes in this race very, very close to breaking 2 minutes, but haven't just done it as yet. Annelies Nijssen of Belgium, that was tailing off there as they were coming into the home straight. Winning time for Schlachtenhaufen, 2:00.26. So less than half a second outside her personal best. Good 800 metre running from her and a nice victory. Back to this men's long jump final. We're in round 5. Now, the lead is held at the moment with 7 metres 34 by Trajkovski, that opener from the Macedonian. Who ironically didn't compete in the European Championships or Trajkovski rather. 7:34 is opener. That has the lead. Kasper Larsen next to go. Now, Larsen in second place, 7:34. Exactly the same distance. Came in round 4 for him. That's his 5th round effort. But on count back, well, Trajkovski has it because of a better second best jump. Indeed, Trajkovski almost metronomic. 7:34 is opener, 7:26 is second round jump, 7:25 in the third round. Larsen, well, 7:10 there in round 4. Good height. Nice effort. 7:34 though remains his best in round 4. And while that's his second best jump, he stays in second place with Egilson of Iceland in third on 7:27. Again, very, very tight. In fact, Tarkowski of Poland, 7:26 in fourth, and Mortensen of Denmark, 7:24 in fifth. It's unbelievably tight, that men's long jump competition. The first 6 athletes covered by 14 centimetres. Now, that is unusual. The pole vault. Back to this pole vault. Well, the bar now at 4 metres 20. That's Kitty Augusta Friele-Fay of Norway, just failing her first attempt at that height. She cleared 4:10 at the third time of asking. It's been very, very tight indeed for Fay. Just waiting for that mark to come up. Yeah, it is 4 metres 20 she's attempting there. Now, 4:45 jumper though is 4:45 vaulter, I should say. Kitty Augusta Friele-Fay of Norway. So 4:20 shouldn't be a problem for her. Now, Imogen Ayres of New Zealand. Very much the favourite, the Olympic finalist. Oh, lovely. Yeah, beautiful. Maintains her lead. It's only her third vault. and her third first-time clearance. Well, confidence boosting each of these clearances by the Kiwi Iris. She no-heighted in Eugene back in 2022 at the World Championships. She went out in qualifying in Budapest last year, but this year, well, she's made the Olympic final. She is beginning to enter the best years of her career. She's had a couple of competitions since the Olympics, but has looked tired. Only vaulted 440 and 434. There's plenty more heights in there as yet for Iris. Now, that's a no jump there by Morota of Japan. She's a 448 vaulter at her best, 420, well within her compass. There's that big Parken Stadium in the background. You might have seen it there. Lovely rangy mover. Good speed on the approach from Morota. Nice technician, in fact, but just clips that bar on the way up. She'll be frustrated with that. So only Iris clear with 420 first time, and two other athletes, the other two athletes left in, have failed. Can tell you that nobody else is still in the competition. Zofia Gaborska has finished fourth, the pole, with 4 meters first time clearance. She had 3 failures at 410. Gaborska, her lifetime best is 415, so that's understandable. Gabriella Jonsson of Sweden likewise had 3 failures at 4 meters. Her best 385, and that was a first time clearance, although she is a 430 vaulter at her absolute best, the 23-year-old Jonsson for Sweden. Now, I love this name, Kitty Augusta Friele Faya. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Forgive me if I'm not. Second attempt at 420. Oh, booms over that. Booms over it. Got it absolutely right that time. She is a 444, a 4 meters 45 vaulter. That was a big vault. She was way over that. Let's have a look at the daylight between the Norwegian and the bar. Plenty of it. She looks small and compact. And the center of gravity is so high above that bar. Well, she's got a personal best vault in her tonight, if she can get it right when the bar moves up. So, we will go to the next height. That'll be 430, as we see Morota. Can she join them? Morota, who's a 442 vaulter this year. No. No, 1 attempt left for her, and she will be next to vault. Good speed, I mean, really good approach speed. But plenty of penetration across the line of the bar. Not enough vertical lift by the looks of things. No. Well, the meeting record in the women's pole vault, I don't know if that's going to be under threat or not. It's a 450 by Carolina Bunda Holm of the Sparta Club. That was last year. She shares that meeting record with stadium record with Saga Anderson of Finland, who also cleared 450 last year. Back to this men's long jump then. Now, still the lead held with 734, but it's a very slender lead for Trajkovski. It's on count back to Kasper Larsen. Oh, red flag. That's a shame. That's a great shame. We're in round 6 now. Piotr Tarkowski, by the way, of Poland, has retired. He cleared 7.26 with his opener and then fouled out in rounds 2, 3, and 4. He's retired from the competition. We'll obviously update you with that progress of that men's long jump competition. We go back to the track now for the men's 400-meter final. And there on the outside are Buna of Slovakia, the Norwegian. Grimmerud is a 45.9 performer, is Grimmerud. There's Matt Bowling of the USA, NCAA indoor champion in 21 and 22 at 21 and 23 rather at 200 meters. The American is big and he's powerful. 9.98 for 100, 19.9 for 200. His personal best 44.84 came back in middle of July in Gainesville, Florida. There's Gustav Nielsen. He goes in 5. Good lane draw that for the Sparta athlete. 45.41 this year is his lifetime best. The 26-year-old acknowledging the applause from the crowd there. Alex Haydock-Wilson. Well, he took a fabulous bronze medal at the European Championships in Munich 2022. He runs for the Windsor Slough Eton Club in West London. Does the 25-year-old Briton. A semi-finalist at the European Championships in Rome. There's Loic Prévost of France, 6th in their championships. He's a 10.3 performer. Andreas Hara Bakatun of Norway goes in 2. And Monterrey, Sebastian Horiris Monterrey of Denmark. And the Sportster Club, a local man, 48.9 this year. He goes in lane 1. Not a great lane draw, but it'd be lovely to see him go quicker here in this lovely little athletics meeting staged by the local club. The meeting record, by the way, 45.23 by Quincy Watts. Remember him? Won the Olympic title that summer in Barcelona. It was in 1992, so it's 32 years old now, that record. Can it be wrestled away from Quincy Watts? Matt Bowling goes in 6, remember. Nielsen of the Sparta Club, a 45.4 performer in 5. And Haydock-Wilson of Great Britain in lane 4. Away they go. Bowling away quickly, already gaining 3rd from left on Grimmerud of Norway. There's the Sparta athlete Nielsen in the turquoise. Easy to spot, centre of picture as they head down the back straight, go through 200 metres. So, Bowling looking very relaxed there. He's a lovely looking runner, isn't he? Eases past Grimmerud of Norway outside him. Some good running going on inside him. Certainly Haydock-Wilson has taken the race to Bowling. Bowling now digging deep. Haydock-Wilson in 2nd place. Between them, Nielsen in the turquoise of Sparta coming through. What a finish from Nielsen. Bowling 2 metres clear. He's going to take this one. Watch the clock. 45.24 there. Well, it's 1/100th of a second outside the meeting record, if that time is confirmed. Oh, how frustrating. Bowling there, winning fairly comfortably. Lovely battle for 2nd place between Nielsen and Haydock-Wilson. And I think the local man with the, well, you would call it the 12th man in football terms, the crowd behind him down the home straight, battling past Alex Haydock-Wilson of Great Britain to chase home Matt Bowling. And the crowd loved it because that was a real battling 2nd place from Gustav Lundholm Nielsen, 26 years old now. Wow. And Haydock-Wilson actually beaten by a couple of metres, struggling to hold Prévost at bay there in 4th place in lane 3. 400-metre runners, of course, say this is the toughest event because of the lactic in the latter stages. I think most middle long-distance runners would beg to differ when the discomfort goes on and on. There in the blue is Grimmerud. There's Bowling going around this 2nd bend looking very relaxed. He ran a very calm first 250 and then started working coming into the straight. Here he starts driving hard with the arms. Haydock-Wilson there in the black centre of picture, committed early, went really hard first 300, came into the straight slightly ahead of Bowling, I think, but Bowling responded really well. But the best response came from Nielsen of the local club, and brilliant running from him to take 2nd place. And we'll confirm those times for you. Bowling 45.24, Nielsen 45.50, only a metre outside his lifetime best. Brilliant run from him. And Haydock-Wilson 46.04 for 3rd. Bowling's time confirmed at 45.24. He misses the meeting record in the 400 by 1/100th of a second. How frustrating. Back to this long jump. So, we're in the 6th and final round. Now, Egilsson has taken the lead, the Icelandic athlete, with a 2.1 wind. He grabs a decent gust there. His previous effort in round 5 had 0 wind, and he jumped 7:44, wind assisted, to snatch the lead. Well, Mortensen, I can tell in round 6, has jumped 7:49. Wonderful response from Mortensen there to take the lead back. This is Egilsson's 6th and final round effort. 7:49. Oh, it's Mortensen, excuse me. I thought it said Egilsson there. Mortensen, 7:49 with a plus 1.3 wind. And that is a personal best by 4 centimetres. Wow. Talk about leaving it late. However, he hasn't won yet. Trajkovski, who was the leader through halfway and beyond, jumped 7:34 with his opener. Hasn't been able to improve upon it, but has seen 2 men now go past him. Egilsson of Iceland, 7:44 wind assisted in round 6. And Mortensen now the leader, the Dane, with a personal best, 7:49 in round 6, plus 1.3 by Mortensen. Well, he gets the white flag. That looks a nice effort from Trajkovski. Has he responded in the best way possible? Hasn't been able to better that 7:34 opener. Good on the board. Really works hard for that one. And what's he been given, Trajkovski? 7:37. Well, he does improve. He finds a bit more. That is fantastic competitive instinct. 7:34 opener. His best until round 6, 7:37. They bookend his series, but he stays in 3rd place. And it confirms Mortensen as the winner. Superb for the Aarhus athlete. Wow. Well, the men's long jump. The result, 7:49 for Mortensen there. A personal best to win. Daniel Inge Egilsson, 7:44. That was wind assisted. And Andres Trajkovski, who led for 5 rounds, in fact, finishing up with a best of the competition for him, 7:37 in round 6, but finishes in 3rd place. Men's 400 metres, Matt Bowling, 45:24 from Gustav Lindholm Nielsen, 45:50, and Hayden Wilson, 46:04. Fabulous race, that one. Loic Pravot of France, 46:28 in 4th place. Nice running there, but Bowling, well, looked very comfortable, didn't he? Yeah, he may well be very, very happy with that one, Nielsen. Took some big names down with him. His time, 45:50, remember. Behind Bowling's 45:24.
Ja, så blev det sådan, som det blev.
Hvordan synes du om forholdene i dag?
Jeg synes, det er mega fedt at komme her til et stævn i september, og der er så stor opbakning for det, og mega god stemning. Ja.
Nu er sæsonen, som du siger, ved at gå på held. Hvad er dine planer for næste år?
Det er egentlig bare at blive bedre til længdespring. Altså, jeg har været 60-springer, og nu har jeg skiftet til længde, så det er bare at træne fuldt ud og se, hvordan jeg kan springe.
Tusind tak skal du have, og held og lykke, og endnu en gang stort tillykke.
Tak for det.
Well, Torun Mortensen there being interviewed by local television. 7:49, a personal best for him in the 6th and final round. Leaving it late, but perfect timing. Plus 1.3, the win behind that 6th round effort to defeat Egilsson and Trajkovski. Now, back to this pole vault for women. Oh, Iris has had 3 vaults for New Zealand. She leads with 4:20, although she has had a couple failures at 4:30. And we saw Faye of Norway there, second failure at 4:30. And Iris seems to have hit her blocks here. Second attempt for her at 4:30 is a failure as well. This is what they're struggling at. She does have the lead, though. Perfect up to and including 4:20. Remember, Faye of Norway took 3 attempts at 4:10, 2 attempts at 4:20 before going clear. And Moroto of Japan cleared 4:20 at the 3rd time of asking. I don't think we saw that, but that was fabulous for Morota. She's now got to take her second attempt at 4:30. Now, if she clears this, Morota, the Japanese, she takes the lead because both Iris of New Zealand and Faye of Norway have had 2 attempts and failed. No, and it wasn't that close, to be perfectly honest. She has 1 attempt left, as do the other 2. But this does seem to be sorting them out, this height. No, gives it quite a bend, the bar, doesn't she? The pole vault is such a complicated, such a challenging event. Technically, speed, power, flexibility, spatial awareness, bravery, all of those are needed. Timing as well, absolutely critical for the pole vault. So many different aspects have to come together for this discipline, more than in any other discipline. I don't think too many people would argue about that. But it may be that 4 meters 30 tonight is beyond this trio, as the first to attempt it for the 3rd time is Cuti Augusta Friella Faye. Stadium record does look like it's going to be safe at 4 meters 50. Waiting for the right moment, waiting for that wind to ease back, I think, is Faye of Norway. She's had 7 vaults, so she should still be relatively fresh. Good speed. No. At least she gave it a go. Really attacked that. And with a lifetime best of 4:45, she will be a little frustrated. But these athletes are not machines. And it's been a long, long season for all of them, whether they competed in Rome at the European Championships, in Paris at the Olympic Games, or on the Diamond League circuit or not. It's been a long summer. Plenty of athletes after Paris who had planned to compete in meetings post-Olympics have called it a day. Now, the women's 100-meter hurdles final is the next event on the track, and all these athletes, of course, have qualified from the heats earlier. Well, let's have a look at this field. There is Keskitalo of Finland. She goes in lane 6. Now, Miewska of Poland. There is Morrison. No, Anderson we saw. Then Morrison of Jamaica. Morrison was second in a heat in 13:22. Gina Lim of the Netherlands, twice the Dutch champion. She won the second heat in 13:06. There's Carlson. She goes in lane 2. Carlson, who got through as the fastest loser, non-automatic qualified, 13.26 from the second heat. And Suman goes on the inside, so to speak. Suman was third in the first heat in 13:32. So, here we go then. Away first time. Really good over in lane 5 from Anderson. Looking strong too is Keskitalo. Keskitalo maybe taken that one, or indeed was it in fact Jenna Lim? I think Jenna Lim came through very late. We'll have to wait and see. Well, it was really tight at the line. Could even tell that from that angle. The camera concentrating there on Morrison in 4. But actually, lovely running too from right in the centre, Keskitalo. Does Keskitalo take it? Waiting for that result to come through. It is Jenna Lim who's been given it. 12.94, the win plus 1.1. And Jenna Lim winning it. Taking a little while for that result to come through as we go back to the introduction of a field event. And this is the women's hammer throw competition. There is Charlotte Payne. Now, I don't know, I need to check, but I think she's the granddaughter of Howard Payne, who was a great hammer thrower a few years back in the UK. There is Rebecca Hallett of Sweden, Swedish champion once, went out in qualifying at the European Championships. And then Kati Ojulu of Estonia. She's a 71-metre hammer thrower at her best. Well, 8 athletes in this women's hammer final. Meeting record in the hammer, by the way. The stadium record is by one Betty Heidel of Germany. What a great champion she was. Back in 2006, she threw 75.08. Well, that would take some catching indeed. It's beyond anybody in this field. The biggest thrower in the distance is Gillian Shippey.
And the wind was plus 1.1, so it's a very good time. How far is it from your very best?
Like my season's best was 12.87, so no 78, so it's close.
It's very close, and it's your second race, so I just want to congratulate you even more and wish you the best of luck for the next season.
Thank you, it was nice being here.
Thank you so much. Lad os give Mike en hånd. Hun fortæller os, at hun er glad for at løbe her i aften, og hun løb ret tæt på sit sæsonbedste. Så med 2 løb i benene og slutter af med 12.94, så er det rigtig, rigtig flot. Stort tillykke til Maike.
Well, we can see once again that win from Jenna Lim. She started in lane 3. She's in the green. In fact, just looking, she's to right of picture. They've given it to Jenna Lim, 12.94. But hang on a second. Just need to check this. I don't quite know what's going on because they've given it to Jenna Lim. Yes. Jenna Lim in lane 3 taking it. 12.94 from Anderson, 12.96, and Keskitalo 13.10, with Morrison, the Jamaican, 13.10 in 4th place eventually. Now this hammer just getting underway. There's confirmation of the women's 100-metre hurdles final with a plus 1.1 wind blowing them down the straight in the opposite direction to normal. Jenna Lim of the Netherlands winning in 12.94 from Norway's Anderson, 12.96. Keskitalo of Finland, 13.095, taking 3rd place by 2/1000ths of a second from Jamaica's Morrison. So, Gillian Shippey is the competition opener. She had a no throw in the first round. So did Vanessa Sturkendries of Belgium. Tuthill of Ireland. Nicola Tuthill was due to start here, but she's a non-starter. That's a great shame. I'm just waiting for somebody to record a mark here. I think Jakobsen, Katrine Koch Jakobsen of Denmark. She is a Sparta athlete. There she is, yes. And Jakobsen, 72.10. That's a fabulous opener. Wow.
72 meter, 10 centimeter til Katrine i første forsøg i hammerkast. Sådan, Katrine!
Well, Charlotte Payne of Great Britain next to throw. But that is some opener from Katrine Koch Jakobsen. 7 times the Danish champion. She was 10th in the Olympic final. Jakobsen and 74.22. She holds the national record from 2 years back. However, back to the track. We'll keep you up to speed with that women's hammer throw competition. 7 competitors in that one, but 15 in this men's 1 mile, and we're hoping to see something a long way under 4 minutes here. There's fellas in this who've run 3:51, 3:52. It's a very high caliber field. Luke McCann of Ireland is a 3:53 runner. Look out too for Charles Philibert Thibouteau of Canada, 4 times the Canadian champion, semi-finalist at the Olympic Games. He's a 3:52 miler. There is quite a spread of abilities here. Filippi on the inside for Italy has only run 4:07 for a mile, but maybe he hasn't run it too often. Piers Copeland goes in this one too, the Welshman, the Briton. He's the 25-year-old. Only 9th in the UK Championships this year, although he won the UK Indoor title back in March. He's a 3:54 miler. Ran 3:37 in his last race. Henry Wynne also goes here. He's a 3:53 miler. Ran that in Falmouth last year, did Wynne. Wish we could see a few more of these names of all these fellas, but it's a little bit tough. And no numbers on their backs either. So wait, a full start in a mile, can you believe? Now that's something you don't see every day. Well, Bollerud of Norway, I think he's making his debut here. There is Copeland to the right of picture. The tall with the yellow spikes and bright yellow. 4th from right is Copeland. So they will be brought to the line once again here. Away they go then. Now, if the pacemaker does a good job here, drags them round in around 58 seconds per lap, we could see something in the low 350s, perhaps even sub 350. That is possible in a meeting with a field of this caliber in good conditions, although there is a bit of breeze around the arena. We know that. The stadium record, just checking, doesn't seem to be one, so I'm wondering if there is... if this is the first time a mile has been run in this stadium. The Danish record is a very modest 3:59 by Sparta's Morgan Guldberg. But as they come through after 1 lap, this has been good pacemaking. Good pacemaking job done here, I think, as they go through. Well, the leader goes through in about 59.5, so it could have been a little bit quicker. But that is, of course, remember, 1 lap and 9 meters. So call it low 58s, in which case that is good pacemaking. Into the back straight. Pacemaker doing a good job checking over his shoulder. So, Walid Suleiman of the USA is very much a name to watch in this field. As they ease around this second lap. Plenty of athletes up for this. Hard to identify these athletes with the names on their numbers. Very small typeface, I have to say. In fact, there are a lot of people who think that actually numerals on their numbers, on their boobs would be much easier. Just 1, 2, 3 could be much, much bigger. But as they head into the third lap, the pacemaker checks over his shoulder. He's done a pretty good job. And into the back straight for the penultimate time. There's still 8 men there beginning to get away. No numbers on their shorts either, so impossible to identify them from the side as they go through with 600 metres to run. Piers Copeland just moving up into about 9th place. The Welshman has run 4:57 for 2,000. That was 4 years ago, and he's only 25 now. He's got great strength as Copeland as they come down towards the bell. But this is going to be a sprinter's race. They hit the bell there in about 2:57. Anybody can take this from this leading group of 8 or 9. Into the back straight and kicking hard. I think it is Suleiman who leads. Tiny figure. 3:51 miler. Run that in Raleigh, North Carolina, back on the 2nd of August, 3:51. So we know he's in good shape. And he's easing away from this field and nobody's able to come back to him at the moment. He has about a 3-metre lead. Can he hang on to it down the home straight? He's probably the shortest fella in this leading pack. Looking fabulous here down the home straight, stretching away from the rest of them. Watch the clock. And it is quick. 3:52.04. Wow. That's a final circuit of around 55 seconds by my reckoning. Apologies for not being able to identify more of the athletes there as they negotiated those 4 laps. But no bib numbers. Tiny writing on those huge bibs. And it is nigh on impossible. Philibert Thiboutot of Canada, who is strong. He's run 13:12 for 5,000. Had a very tough time in Paris. Remember at the games in Paris, athletes who didn't get through the heats to the semi-finals were given the chance for a second race called the repechage, and the repechage was the next day. And then the top performers in those repechage races got into the semi-finals, which were the next day. So yes, they had to run 3 consecutive days, 1,500-meter races, and then if they got through those, they had a chance of getting into the final. But it made it almost impossible. It was a great gesture, and I do like it as an innovation, but Philibert Thiboutot, there in that sort of yellowy orange vest. Absolutely typical. McCann there had a good run. Luke McCann, who was also in the repechage races in Paris. But Philibert Thiboutot ran 3:36 on day 1, 3:33 on day 2, and then the third day of racing, 3:33. That is very, very tough for anybody. Of course, he didn't make the final. I'm not sure that anybody that ran in repechages did. So, the women's long jump field being introduced to the crowd now. And I'll just update you on the time of that mile race as a priority. We'll see these long jumpers once they get underway. That mile race, let's just double check. Well, no times have come through yet. There you go. How about that? From the mile. Been waiting for those to come through, so we can go back to this women's long jump field. Kristjansdottir of Iceland. She's a 640 jumper at her best, 629 this year. There is Ida Rasmussen. She's from the Greve Athletic Club, 621 this year. Emil Hammerström, we saw just now. There is Irma Gunnarsdottir, 640 performer. Good to see so many Icelandic athletes at this meeting, taking advantage of a little bit of warmish weather, although it's clouded over a little bit. Betty Jensen goes in this one for the Sparta Club, the local club. Only 605 this year, but at her best, 637, the 20-year-old. Eben Karned of Norway, 611 this year. So, back to this hammer contest. We're in the second round. Gillian Shippey, by the way, leads with 73.79. That was the season's best for her in the second round. She had a no throw in the first
Man
round.
from US, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
It looked like you had this race under your control the whole time.
In some type of way. Obviously, like, the conditions are really good right now, except, like, the wind. And, like, I came into this meet, like, expecting to win. Weren't really expecting anything that fast, but what's important is the win, so.
It is, and what is the difference between 1,500 meters and then the mile? Of course, it's longer, but what do you prepare? How do you prepare?
Obviously, yeah, it's an extra 109 meters, but it's the exact same preparation. It's not really much difference except like trying to figure out like different kind of strategy. Instead of like kicking in from like 400 to go, you're gonna have to start kicking in for like 600 to go to try to get yourself in a good position. I personally prefer the 1,500 meter just because of like the straightaway from the gun. As you saw today, tripped a little bit in the first bit. So
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you so much for coming, and I wish you all the best of luck.
thank you. Thanks, Copenhagen.
Walid Suleiman
Lad os give
there
ham en
winning
hånd.
in 3:53.36 in that
Soliman han sagde,
men's mile.
at det var et
Luke
rigtig
McCann
dejligt
at
løb, og han faktisk havde fuld kontrol, og han
3:54.06
godt kan
in
lide at
second
løbe, men
place,
han
the season's
allerbedst kan
best
lide at
for
løbe
him. And in
1.500
third
meter.
place,
Så
Paul
det var hyggeligt,
Anselmini
han
of
kom.
France, 3:54.47, a personal best for the Frenchman. Tom Keane of Great Britain taking fourth place, 3:54.56, a personal best for him as well. And Sam Gilman of the USA, fifth, 3:54.73. Philippe Thiboutot, 3:55.50 in sixth. So a really nice men's mile there. As we go back to this women's hammer competition, as I said, Gillian Shippey throwing 73.79 for the lead in the second round, but a very slender lead. Katrina Koch-Jakobsen, 73.55, is only 24 centimetres down. That was in the second round too. And Charlotte Payne, 63.74, her opener, then 63.86 in round two. Vanessa Sterkendries of Belgium has third with 63.91. So she has just a 5 centimetre lead on Payne. It's going to be really tight, I think, for these minor places. Ojalu of Estonia is in third with 62.59. She'll be next to throw, and that's Hullet. The Swede taking her second round throw, and it's 2 no throws for her. That's frustrating. Little shake of the head there for the athlete who was second last Friday in the Finland against Sweden match with 69.99. She was beaten by Finland's Krista Turvo, who set a national record 74.85. Turvo doesn't go in this field, but that, of course, was the Finnkampen. The big annual match has been going on for decades between Finland and Sweden. Shippey then will be next to throw. She's first in the throwing order. She leads at the moment with 73.79 from round 2. Can she pump this one out a little bit further, give herself more of a cushion? Again, it's well over 70 metres, but it doesn't look like 73. That's about a 72-metre effort. Good, consistent throwing from Shippey. Wow. Very fast turns from Shippey. No throw from her. So no throw in the first round. 73.79 for the lead in the second round, and no throw in the third round. Although the actual distance was consistent, she fouls out with that third round effort. Season's best, by the way, for Shippey, by exactly 2 metres with that second round effort that holds the lead. Now, Stukendries of Belgium. She's lying in third place. No throw in the first round. And then she reached out to 63.91. But the leading pair are almost 10 metres ahead. Shippey and Jakobsen, who are almost inseparable. 73.79 for Shippey, 73.55 for Jakobsen. Stukendries leads the rest of them. 63.91 her second round effort, and a no throw from her in the third round. Charlotte Payne in fourth, as I said, I think. She opened with 63.74, then 63.86. But she has thrown 71 metres this year. That was in Portsmouth back in the middle of May. If she could hit those sort of distances here, she'd ease into third place quite comfortably. Well, Vanessa Stukendries, at the age of 29, didn't like that one. Oh, she's been given the red flag. Maybe she feels it was a bit harsh. Or she's just frustrated because she can see it was a pretty good throw. Over to the track now, and it's the straight, and it's the women's 100 metres final. Well, on the outside there is Damasi of Italy. Hooper goes in lane 6. In 7, we saw Voro very briefly. In 5, it's Siragusa. Williams, Jodian Williams of Jamaica goes in 4. Scott, Molly Scott there of Ireland goes in 3. In 2 is Pereira of Singapore, and in lane 1 it's Mihanic Zidar. So Williams, all eyes on her. She won her heat in 11.37 earlier, the first heat of the 2 from Gloria Hooper. Hooper goes in 6. The other heat winner, the second heat, was won by Molly Scott of Ireland, 11.48. That was a season's best for Scott. So she's drawn alongside Williams. Wow. Goodness me. That was a couple of athletes left sitting in their blocks there. I'm not quite sure what happened. It looked to me like a very, very brief set position period. Well, it gives me a chance to introduce the athletes for you once again. Mihalnic Zidar of Slovenia goes in lane 1. She was 4th in her heat. Got through as a non-automatic qualifier with 11.64. Back to this hammer, though, very briefly. We're still in the 3rd round. Jakobsen. Well, Jakobsen in 2nd place with 73.55. Oh, back to the track then. Yeah, that's a replay of that faulty start, let's hope. Nobody's been disqualified. But the names to watch, very much the heat winners. 11.37, Jodian Williams, who goes in lane 4. In fact, in lane 1, it looks like Mihalnic Zidar has been disqualified, has been shown the red card. Well, that's a great shame. We didn't see that, but she's gone. Molly Scott, really quick out of the blocks there on the far side, but the big, powerful Jamaican Williams leading at the moment and beginning to go away. Scott working hard, but I'm not sure she's going to finish in the first 2. Really good running over on the near side from Siragusa, I think it was. Or was it Hooper, maybe? Well, no doubting the winner there. Jodian Williams. She's an 11.01 athlete. I mean, once you're getting down to 11 flat and into the 10s, you're talking truly world-class sprinting. She won her heat in 11.37. That was with a 1.4 metre win behind her. And I think Williams has taken that one pretty comfortably too. Molly Scott, perfectly built, frankly, for 60 metres indoors. There she is in that grey strip for Ireland. Really quick. With her season's best, she won the 2nd heat earlier on. 11.21 for Jodian Williams. It was Hooper who took 2nd, the Italian. 11.39. The wind plus 0.8 behind those athletes. Molly Scott, well, she hung on for 3rd. 11.41. Well, that's a personal
Og
best
mens hun
for
gjorde
the
det,
Irish athlete.
så har jeg
Fabulous.
fanget en meget, meget hurtig kvinde. I just caught a very fast woman. Jodian Williams, congratulations with the win in 100 meters.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
How was it to run in Copenhagen? You come from Jamaica. How do you end up in Copenhagen?
I just come here to execute, and I love the place. Thank you for inviting me, and it's a wonderful and amazing place.
What is your plan for, I think the season must be come to an end for now, but what are your plans for next year?
To make it to the World Championship.
That sounds fantastic. I hope to see you and the best of luck.
Thank you, and you will.
Tusind tak. Thank you so much, Jodian Williams. Hun er rigtig glad for at være her, og hun synes, det var et dejligt løb. Så lad os lige give hende en kæmpe hånd mere. Dejlig kvinde.
Well, yes, it's a fairly straightforward question, a fairly straightforward answer. What are your plans for next year? To make the team for the World Championships. That's easier said than done if you're a Jamaican sprinter. But we wish Jodian Williams the best with that win tonight, 11.21, as she winds down her season. She must be well pleased with that. Gloria Hooper of Italy, 2nd, 11.39. Molly Scott of Ireland, 3rd, 11.41 for 3rd place. Battling away against Voro of Estonia, 11.44, who set a season's best. Confirmation of that result in the women's 100 metres. Williams, Hooper and Scott. A personal best from Scott. She's perhaps the happiest of all of them there with a very slight following win in that women's 100 metres. Voro, a season's best 11.44. And Siragusa, they're just outside 11.5 in 5th. Well, the men's 100 metre final is the next event on the track. That will be coming up very shortly as we go back to this hammer. Well, Hallett, not a very happy person with the way her competition is going at the moment. She's down. She's yet to record a mark. Indeed, that's the third no throw from her in a row. She was smiling after the first one, but she's not smiling at the moment. Ojalu. Well, the Estonian opened with 62.59, then a no throw. Now, she's a 71-meter thrower at her absolute best. This year, she's thrown 65.5 meters. She's 3 meters down on that at the moment. How well does she hit that one? Looks like about 63, 62.5. It's almost identical, I think, to her opening effort, 62.59. It'll be interesting to see. Still the lead in that women's hammer, by the way. Gillian Shippey, 73.79 in round 2. From Jakobsen, 73.55 in round 2. Now, Adam Jamili has made it through to this men's 100 metres final. He goes on the outside in lane 8, does Jamili. Nazarov goes in lane 6. In 7 is Afrifa. There is Musa, Kojo Musa from Aarhus, the Aarhus club. He's the local fellow. Well, I say local. He's running in front of a Danish crowd, at least. Dave Morgan Harrison looked very good in his heat. The Briton, best of 10:23, lifetime best. Jær of Norway, of Denmark, excuse me. Despar goes in 2 beside Jær, who's in 3. And then Askovic of Germany goes in lane 1. Well, the heat winners earlier on were Jær of Denmark. He's got lane 3 there next to Morgan Harrison. It's not a bad lane draw for him. He ran a personal best of 10:14 in his heat. That was with a plus 1.8, remember. And the winner of the second heat was Musa, Kojo Musa, who goes in lane 5. The Dane from Aarhus Club running 10:34. But that was with only a 1 meter win behind him. Morgan Harrison, well, he finished second in the first heat in 10:24. Here we go. Away they go then. Ooh, no they don't. No they don't. As in the men's race, the women's race rather, there was a full start there. I didn't spot it. So yeah, from the Skiva club, just 25 years old, improving his personal best to win that first heat from 10:8, 10:17 to 10:14. Very hard to spot the transgressor in that sort of shot, eh? On the inside is Askovic. Alexander Askovic of Germany, who was 4th in his heat. 4th in the first heat in 10:42. And he's a 10:2 performer, Askovic. Just looking to see, yeah, they are all there. I didn't see Jamili to the right of the picture. Very briefly. So, Musa, winner of the first heat. No, winner of the second heat, rather, in 10:34. Should be very tight, this one. On paper, Emil Mardier of Denmark, perhaps starts as favourite. He's in lane 3, third from the top in the red. Away they go this time. No, they do not. Well, the pressure continues to mount. This race was due underway at 7:57 local time, so they're running some 10 or 12 minutes behind time now. Who gets away cheeky early in this one? So this is where experience comes into play. These athletes just have to stay calm, focus on the job at hand. Into their blocks for the third time then. Don't see that too often. Elvis Afrifa of the Netherlands. He's a 10.18 performer this year, Afrifa. But only second in the second heat earlier on in 10.44. And that with a following wind of 1 meter per second. However, he's in lane 7. Jamili in lane 8. The heat winners, of Denmark rather, in 3. Musa in 5. They do get away this time. Very little in it, as I suspected. 4 or 5 men there battling for this one. It's going to be very tight indeed. Yeah, maybe in red taking that one. Impossible to tell from that angle. But yeah, I think, could have stolen that one. Waiting for the time to come up. Waiting for the result to come up. It was always going to be tight. We knew that. And he has been given it. 10.19 for Yer. Well, he came here with a personal best at 10.17. He won his heat in 10.14. And then he wins the final. Plus 1.4 the wind in 10.19. Brilliant stuff from the 25-year-old Dane from the Skiver Club.
Der for dig. Er du sindssygt nogle flotte løb, du har haft i dag. Prøv lige at sætte et par ord på.
Jamen, det er fuldstændig vanvittigt. Jeg har haft 4-5 ugers træning måske, og så er jeg gået og løber 10-1 2 gange i streg i dag. Det er fuldstændig uvirkeligt.
Altså 10-1, det er jo noget, man sagde i gamle dage, ikke? Ja, hvad løb du?
10-19 og 10-14.
Tusind tak. Emil, hvad er dine fremtidsplaner?
Jeg skal have en iskold bajer nu i hvert fald.
Okay, det synes jeg lyder fornuftigt. Tillykke med det.
Tak for det.
Og så Emil, stadions hurtigste mand i dag.
Well, that's been quite a day for Yer. Quite a special day. And who knows, maybe the Danes have got a lad who on the continental level certainly can do something special in years to come. He's developing, a developing force. No doubt about that. Very impressive indeed. That consistency from heat through to final. So back to this women's long jump. lead is 6:37 by Maja Oskog of Sweden. That was her opener. She fouled in the second round. Petra Banidi Farkas of Hungary in second with 5:98. Pretty modest distances so far, it has to be said. Oskog leading very comfortably. So Carned there, a second no jump in a row for her. That's a great shame. Oh, she gets a jump in this time. Does Carned? No, excuse me. No jump in the first round. 5:57, her second round effort. But the wind in her face, -1.1. The wind isn't helping these long jumpers now. It has been swirling throughout the afternoon and evening. There's no doubt about that. Well, humour that was. Oh, I can't even see on my start sheet, excuse me. So the men's 100 metres result then confirmed the winner, 10.19 with a 1.4 wind. Emil Marder Jair of Denmark there. David Morgan Harrison, 10.26. Good sprinting from the Brit. And Kojo Musa, a season's best, 10.31, just ahead of Nazarov in fourth place. Adam Jamili, 10.61, down in eighth. Well, Banidi Farkas there. She opened with 5.98. Then a second round no jump. And third round, 6.17. Moves her into second place. So we have two athletes beyond 6 metres. The Hungarian, well, she's a 6.77 jumper at her absolute best. So she's performing way below what she's capable of here. Benidi Farkas in second place from Oshkog. Yelberg next to go. 6:36, her lifetime best. Oh, that looked very close to being a no jump. What colour flag does she get? Might have been okay on the board, actually. She had a no jump in the first round, no jump in the second round. She desperately needs a mark here. Oh, she's all smiles, so I think she's okay. What does she get? Well, let's check the distance there for Yelberg. And it was pretty solid, 5 meters 97 in the third round for her. Well, the next event of the track, the women's 5,000 meters, 12 and a half laps of the track in this one. Lilemo of Sweden goes on the outside. She's a 15:49 athlete. The pacer there, all in black. Well, brought to the line very fast. And Katrina Coogan of the USA there, 15:14 athlete on the inside in that yellowish top. Her dad, Mark Coogan, was a world-class 5,000, 10,000 meter runner and a pretty useful marathon runner back in the day. So away they go. 12 and a half laps of the track, and conditions, well, hard to tell really because the wind has been swirling. So, look out here in particular for Constanza Klosterhalven. She was just moving down the outside there in a pinky orange kit. But the pace looks pretty useful as they head out to complete this first lap. Klosterhalfen back in, what, about 7th place. There she is in those pink bottoms to the right of picture. She is the class act in this one, of course. The 27-year-old German. Seems like she's been around for years and years. Was coached by Alberto Salazar before he got banned from coaching. Runs for the Bayer Leverkusen club. Has had a lot of injury problems, particularly this year. Hasn't raced since the 8th of May, in fact, this year. This is a late season consolation race for the German. Well, picture in picture. And that hammer competition continues, of course. Shippey still leads that second round 73.79. She backed it up with a fourth round 71.86, but she still has a very slender lead because Jakobsen still in second place with 73.55, and Jakobsen hit 70 meters in the fourth round. She's still throwing well. Hallett in third with round 5 has thrown 68.27. She eventually came alive, did Hallett. 68.05 in the fourth round, 68.27 in the fifth round. And Kunakova Well, Slovakia, 65.83, down in 4th place. That was around 5 effort for her. So they're enjoying themselves over in that hammer competition. As back on the track, the athletes come through up towards the 1,000 meter point. So that first 1,000 looked like about 3:03. It's on the slow side, I have to say. That's going to be around 15:15 if they maintain that tempo. So that's why the field are all there, even though they are a little bit stretched out. The pacemaker, I'm sure, would have been asked to run a quicker tempo than that. And now, unless it's my eyes deceiving me, she has picked it up a little bit, but it's almost too late when you drop in up 2.5 laps that are 5 or 10 seconds too slow. Back in this hammer circle then. Sturkendries it is, I think. It's taking her 5th round throw. She's down in 6th place. Charlotte Payne of Great Britain opened with a couple of 63s, and then in round 3 went out 65.45. She's down in 5th place. Only needs to find a little bit to catch Kanukova of the Slovakia, who in round 5 threw 65.83. That was her first valid effort. Her first 4 throws were no throws. There's only 7 in the competition, with Nicola Tuttle of Ireland not starting, so that's why nobody was eliminated after the first 3 rounds. But Kanukova didn't get a valid throw until round 5. Sturkendries stays in 6th. That she's had no throws in rounds 1, 3, 4, and 5. This 5,000 meters with Costa Halfen back in 5th place, who should be very comfortable at this pace. The German, well, she is supremely talented, holds national records at 3,000 and 5,000 and 10,000. She's run 65.41 for a half marathon. She's very strong. She's quick too. She's run 1:59 for 800. That was back in 2017. So they're going to go through 2,000, well outside 6 minutes by the looks of things. This field just bunching a little bit there, back in about 7th or 8th place. Yeah, I don't think the pacemaker has really pushed on this 2nd kilometre. Back in the hammer competition though. Still Shippey who leads. Round 5. Jakobsen taking her 5th round effort, the 7 times Danish champion. And that's not bad. That looks pretty useful. That's around 67, but it's not out there in the 70s where she needs to be. She actually has had a fabulously consistent series. She opened with a 72, then a 73.55. That's her best in round 2. Then 68, and then a 70. Whereas Shippey, from her 4 efforts so far, has had just 2 valid efforts, but both of them great. Her 2nd round throw, her first valid effort, 73.79. That holds the lead. And then in round 4, 71.86. Yeah, 67.92 for Jakobsen. She's running out of opportunities. She's got 1 left with which to catch the American Shippey, who now will take her 5th round throw. Can she ease away a little bit further from Jakobsen? Pacemaker drops out in the 5,000 meters. I didn't get that 2,000 meter time, but it looked way outside 6 minutes. Shippey then to extend her lead. Round 5. I'm not quite sure what happened then. Should she ground it? Is that why she's still holding the implement? If it touches the ground when you're spinning, then it's a no throw. And I think that's what must have happened. Just all went wrong. 5,000 meters goes through with 6 laps to run. And it's still a big pack. Call it a pack. It's stretched out over about 20 meters, but there's about 12 or 13 athletes there as in this hammer contest. Next to throw is Charlotte Payne. Payne lying in 5th place. 65.45, came in round 3, and that looks about 64 meters. She's thrown 65.45. I don't think any improvement. Well, we're going into round 6 now. Opportunities running out for these athletes as there has been a bit of a breakaway in the 5,000 meters. A group of 5 getting away, or is it 6 getting away towards the latter stages of the race? It's Kanukova. Veronika Kanukova, 65.83. Was her best in round 5. 63.49 in round 6. Excuse me, it wasn't Charlotte Payne. My apologies. Now, Hallett. That one outside the sector. No throw there. As this 5,000 meter field continues on its merry way. Maureen Jepkoech, I think, leading. She's a 14.58 athlete. The only Kenyan in the race. And a group of 6 athletes, is it? Getting away. Klosterhalfen looking good for this. Bronze medalist in the World Championships at 5,000 metres back in 2019. European champion at 5,000 2 years ago in Munich. She has a best, that German national record of 14.26 from 5 years ago, Klosterhalfen. So light on her feet in those pink shorts. She almost gallops along. Lovely high knees. Hannah Nuttall going in this one as well for Great Britain. Not sure I've even mentioned her, who was 10th in the European Championships at 5,000 metres. Hasn't raced since the 12th of July. She was 14th in Monaco. Had a really rough race there in what was a super fast race, almost a world record race. But she ran 15.37 and I think looked a little crushed both mentally and physically at the end of that race. So, Ojalu, a no throw in the 6th and final round for the Estonian. She stays in 7th place, 63.05 in that hammer contest. Sturkendries then, in the red for Belgium. She's a 69-metre throw, almost a 70-metre thrower at her best. Well, she's only had one valid effort from her first five efforts. That was 63.91 in round 2. Otherwise, all of them no throws. Round 1, 3, 4, and 5. There is Charlotte Payne. Twice UK champion. Won the English Clubs Championships, or the English Championships, back on 19th of June, did Payne. She's only 22. Went out in qualifying at the UK Championships, but was silver medalist in the European Under-23s last year. Klosterhalfen has lost patience with this race and has kicked away now with 2 laps to run. And Chepkoech of Kenya trying to go with her. Hannah Nuttall in third, still looking strong. Her dad, John Nuttall, who so sadly passed away just a few months away, will hopefully be looking down on this one. She's in 4th place at the moment as Nuttall. Her mum, Alison Wyeth, was a world-class middle and long-distance runner as well. 14:52 she's run this year on the 25th of May. That was in Leiden in the Netherlands. But Klosterhalfen working really hard to try and get a gap, and they're resisting here very stubbornly. Brilliant running from those behind to try and stay in touch with Klosterhalfen. She is trying desperately to break away. We must remember this is her first race for many, many months. Back in on the 8th of May, she raced Klosterhalfen. What can she do here for this final circuit as they begin to close on her? The gap is closing. There's no doubt about that. They hit the bell then in almost exactly 14 minutes. Maybe a click outside 14 minutes in this 5,000. Klosterhalfen hasn't shaken off the attentions of Chepkoech just yet. Down the back straight, and Nuttall, who has a useful kick on her as well, eases past Chepkoech into third, and then into second. And Nuttall has a very, very useful kick finish. Klosterhalfen, mind you, should have good speed too. These 4 inseparable. You could throw a blanket over them now. As Nuttall kicks hard there on the crown of the bend, Klosterhalfen doesn't have any response to that. Chepkoech trying to go with her. And Hannah Nuttall of Great Britain kicking away here and is not going to be caught now. It's been brilliant from Nuttall. The gap continues to widen. The 27-year-old finds redemption here off that horrible experience in Monaco. She takes the win there, does Nuttall. The winning time, 15:07.22. It doesn't matter. It's the manner of the win from Nuttall that is so impressive. Everybody in track and field athletics depends upon confidence to some degree, and that is a confidence-boosting, a confidence-renewing run from Hannah Nuttall there of Great Britain to win that 5,000 against a pretty useful field, it has to be said. Well, the latter stages of this hammer final now, and Jakobsen in the 6th and final round has a no throw. It does confirm her as the second placer with that 73.55 in the second round. And Gillian Shippey of the USA, 73.79, winning by a small margin. It came in round 2. Shippey, who was 6th in the World Juniors back in 2018, went out in qualifying at the US Olympic trials, has thrown 71.79 before tonight, but that is a season's best for her in round 2, 73.79. It's only a metre or so down on her lifetime best. She had a no mark in Budapest last year in qualifying, but Gillian Shippey has a great night in Copenhagen. The 25-year-old wins with 73.79. She fouls out with a no throw in the 6th round. It doesn't matter.
Jeg står her med vinderen af 5.000 meteren. Congratulations, what a run.
Thank you. Yeah, so happy to get the win today.
Yeah, what a finish you had. You were just, passing a little bit, and then at 200 meters, you just found an extra gear.
Yeah, I was hurting pretty much from midway through the race, but I just somehow managed to find the gear, which was really nice.
Just tell me a little bit about the wind, because it is kind of different in this stadium.
Yeah, I think we kind of used it on the back straight, which was quite nice. So I was kind of counting it as like one side on, one side off. So it was fine.
Okay, are you satisfied with your time?
I'm actually not sure of the time, but I'm always happy to get the win. So yeah, I'm really happy with today's performance.
So how did you enjoy Copenhagen?
Oh, amazing. I'm hoping to explore a little bit more tomorrow. We've got a full day. So yeah, I'm really excited to do that.
Thank you so much. And once more, congratulations.
Thank you.
Lad os give en hånd til vinderen af 5.000 meter.
Well, if I could, I'd shout at Anna Nuttall. Your winning time was 15:07:22, but she's quite right to say the time doesn't matter so much unless it's really special. What matters is getting back on your racing spikes and winning, and she's done that tonight in fabulous style in that women's 5,000 meters.
Jeg tænker, det må være lidt svært for dig at sætte ord på, så jeg vil lige starte for dig. Nummer 5 til EM, nummer 10 til OL, og så går du ind her i dag og kaster så tæt på din personrekord. Hvordan er det?
Jamen, som du også selv siger, er det jo virkelig svært at beskrive, fordi det har bare været en sæson, hvor jeg har været meget stabil omkring de her 2,73, så det har bare været super, super fedt. Og det, jeg kan gøre det på hjemmebane, det er jo bare uvirkeligt og fuldstændig fantastisk. Men jeg kunne ikke have gjort det uden alle de tilskuere, der er dukket op. Der var virkelig fed stemning, så ja, tusind tak.
Det er dejligt. Katrine, du gør det rigtig godt, og du er en rigtig god ambassadør for sporten. I Paris, der blev du kaldt for en legemorder.
Ja, det er jo kombineret med, at jeg studerer biokemi, så jeg ved ikke, om jeg vil kalde mig en legemorder, men ja, det ved jeg sgu ikke.
Det var i hvert fald sjovt, og du var super god til de interviews. Katrine, jeg vil ønske dig alt muligt held og lykke, og håber på en rigtig god sæson næste år.
Tusind tak.
Lad os lige give Katrine en kæmpe hånd.
Karnet of Norway went out to 5:57 in the second round. We saw a nice interview just now from Katrine Jakobsen of the local Sparta club, who took second, a narrow second in that women's hammer competition. There is the Norwegian, Eben Karnet, 5:07 in round 5 for her. We're just getting the 5th round rolling. Next to go will be Betty Maria Ramsgaard Jensen. Jensen at her best a 6:37 jumper, quite useful. Only 5:74 tonight though so far in round 3. That looks better. That looks significantly better if she gets the white flag, which I think she does. Doesn't look delighted with it. Good speed now. And good height. Jensen, 5:63. 5:63 her open, and then 5:74. It was better, significantly better. 5:91. Elevates herself to 5th place. Does Jensen. Gradually homing in on something a little bit more like what she's capable of. She's a 6:37 jumper at her best. 6:05 this year, and she's not far shy of that right now. Hammerstrom next to go. This is Emilia Hammerstrom of Sweden. She's a 6:05 jumper at her best. Only 5:99 this year. And that doesn't look too far shy of 6 meters. Good speed from Hammerstrom. Oh, was it a no jump though? Was that just into the... Yes, it was, unfortunately. She's fouled out in rounds 1, 3, 4 and 5. She's only had the one valid effort, 5:84. Kristjansdottir next to go. Berna Kristjansdottir of Iceland. She's a 6.5 meter jumper, 6:46 at her best. Now, getting the crowd behind her. Only 22 years old. Nice acceleration into the board. That looks better. That looks much better. That might be beyond 6 meters. Does she get the red flag, though? Yes, she does, I think. Oh, that's a shame. That's a real shame for Kristjansdottir in round 5, because that looked like a really solid effort. Can't tell from these camera angles how far she was over the front edge of the board, but I don't think very far. That's a frustrating card as well. And there's not a lot of wind. The wind has eased off, I have to say. Gunnarsdottir, mind you, her compatriot, who's lying in 4th place, has picked up some strong gusts. In fact, on her round 4 jump, plus 2.5. And as if by order, here she is. Irma Gunnarsdottir, 5:95 in round 4. Her best so far. I'm not sure that's an improvement. She's a 6:40 jumper at her best. 6:29 this year. Irma Gunnarsdottir, but back to the track for the next event, and it's the women's 200 meters. There is Mia Gross of Australia. She's a 22.8 performer, Gross. Nice lane draw for her too, lane 6. Sarah Gusa, who we saw running in the 100 meters earlier. She goes in 5. Pereira in 4 for Singapore. There is Zidar, Melanic Zidar. She too ran in the 100s. The Slovenian, she's in 3. Jebsen. Looks like she's in 2, and that tells me that there has been an adjustment. Yep, Jepsen in 2. And Binslev, who from Denmark, is a non-starter. Victoria Strelnik Binslev is a non-starter. So Jepsen has moved out to lane 2. So the lineup from the inside: Jepsen in 2, Mahalnik Zidar in 3, Pereira 4, Siragusa 5, Gross 6, Vesely 7 for Germany, and Kirkegaard of Denmark in 8 on the outside. Well, away they go. Nobody really showing that much, although good running from Mihalnik Zidar in lane 3. In the green, strong running 2 out in lane 7 from Jessica Bianca Vesely of Germany. Vesely leading at the moment. The others trying to come back at it, but they're not going to get there. Vesely's going to take this one, I'm sure. Working hard there in lane 4 to come through is Pereira, but I think Vesely has taken that one. 23.35. Well, she's a 22.50 athlete, and for her, that is fairly standard stuff. Vesely of Germany, 28 years old now. 22.50 earlier on this year to set a new personal best. How much does she win by, though? Were they closing on her at the line? Not that much. No, she wins by a metre, maybe a metre and a half. Nice run from Vesely, although the meeting record, well, it's by a certain Irina Privalova of Russia. Back in 1992, she set the stadium record of 22.33. Back to this long jump. We're at the business end of this competition now. That looked like a no jump. And it is, yeah, I'm afraid so. Oshkog still leading with 6.37. That was her opener. Only the 2 athletes over 6 meters. Yeah, and Banidi Farkas of Hungary finishes off with a no jump. That's frustrating. 6 meters 17. She's 20 centimeters down, though, on Maya Oshkog. Oshkog's series has been, well, a little bit troubled itself. She opened with 6.37. That's the best of her series and the best of the evening. No jump in round 2, no jump in round 3, then 5.98 in round 4. That looks better. Well, it's around 6 meters. Gets the white flag. I think it's into the 6 meter territory, but nice height. Nice technique there from Oshkog. She's enjoying herself out there, and well, she might. She has a pretty comfortable lead. In fact, that 6.37, that opening effort by the Swede, was into a -1 meter per second wind. 6.07. So she's frustrated. She can't hit those big hit marks that she's capable of, and the big mark she hit in the first round. Banidi Farkas has 1 attempt left, and with which to catch the Swede. She's lying in 2nd place, the 6th round to come. Here is Karned. Quite sure how to pronounce it. It's an unusual Norwegian name. Eben Karned. Is it Karnhed? I suspect. You have to pronounce each syllable, but forgive me. Maybe Norwegian viewers can write in on the back of a postcard and let me know. She's in 8th place, 5.57. Oh, no. Trying too hard, maybe there. Or did she know that she'd gone over the front edge of the board and aborted halfway through in midair? So that concludes her series. A frustrating series, really. Women's 200 meters next. The result on the track there, 1.4 minus 1.4. The win there for Jessica Bianca Vesely of Germany, winning from Pereira and Gross. 23.36 from lane 7 for the German, but it didn't threaten that meeting record of 22.33 by Privalova. Hammerstrom taking her sixth and final round effort. Really good height from her too. In fact, just checking, I think that's Jensen. Excuse me, of course the order has changed. Yeah, Jensen, 5 meters 90. Well, almost as good as her fifth round jump, 591. She improved and saved her best till last, or the last 2 rounds, lying in 5th place. Round 5, 591. Round 6, 590. Back to the track for the penultimate race of the meeting. It's the men's 5,000 meters. 18 athletes out there. Nervous moments for these fellas. Look in particular here for Cooper Teare there in the purple left of picture. He's a 12.54 performer this year. Cooper Teare, he starts here as favourite. There's no doubt about it. Those bib numbers, forgive me, but more or less impossible to read on my screen. Don't know if they're any better for you back home. But hopefully the wind has eased off a little bit and conditions good for 5,000 meter running. Well, some interesting athletes in this one. This 5,000, James West of Great Britain, a 13.09 performer. Adam Fogg, running only his second ever 5,000. It's 13.25 performer this year. He's looking to run under 13.20 tonight. Scott Beattie of Great Britain, a 13.19 performer. Philip Ingebrigtsen, there's a famous name, winner of the 2016 European 1500 meter title. He's a 13.11 performer now. Older brother, and one of the older brothers, and joint coach of Jakob Ingebrigtsen, of course, the Olympic 5,000 meter champion. Back to this long jump, though. We're in the final round, remember. Gets the white flag there. And I think that's Kristjansdottir. 594. So she improves in the sixth and final round from the opener of 590. She's had a solid series, a 590, then a 581, then a no jump, 587 in round 4, and 594 to conclude her series. Kristjansdottir, what, she is a 646 jumper, so she will be frustrated she's not hitting anything like her personal best from earlier on this summer. And getting caught up with supporting her fellow competitors. That looked very close to being a no jump to me. Yeah, I thought so. Well, that's a shame. Still, Maya Oshkog, who leads. That was Gunnarsdottir, the other Icelandic athlete in this final, who's being supported by Kristjansdottir, her compatriot. They finished 4th and 5th, funnily enough. Kristjansdottir with that 594. Just easing into 5th place. Gunnarsdottir in 4th. She done 595, a windy 595 in round 4.
Inden jeg giver ordet til direktøren for Sparta, Dorte Viberg, så synes jeg lige, at vi skal give Lisa Brix, Simon Hansen, Ida Karstoft og Katrine Kok Jacobsen en kæmpe, kæmpe hånd.
På vegne af Sparta Atletik og Løb, som er arrangør af Copenhagen Athletics Games her i aften, så vil vi gerne bruge anledningen netop til at hylde de her 4 atleter. Jeres præstationer op til det, at I kvalificerer jer, er fantastisk flot. I præsenterer jer alle sammen rigtig godt i konkurrencerne til Paris i OL. Men også bare den måde, I er rolle atletikken. Det betyder så vanvittigt meget for en klub som Sparta Atletik og Løb. Og jeg er sikker på, Simon, som er fra Aarhus 1900, det betyder også rigtig meget for din klub. Vi har kunnet mærke en søgning af unge mennesker, der gerne vil ind og dyrke sprint, lave stangspring, kaste hammer og kaste discus. Det er helt fantastisk. Fordi under OL, der er atletikken jo netop under OL, der er atletikken jo the prime event. Det siger alle. Selv alle journalisterne er jo med på den. Og det er I jo med til også, ligesom det vindue, vi har der, til at vise atletikken frem. Så igen, tusind tak på vegne af Sparta Atletik og Løb for alt det, I gør for sporten.
Ja, endnu en gang tusind tak, og tusind tak til Dorte Viberg. Og vi er simpelthen så utrolig stolte af jer. Bliv ved. I er så gode. Vi glæder os til at
Well, I thought I'd just sit out those interviews in Danish. They're of little meaning to me. My apologies for those of you who don't speak Danish either, but they go through in this 5,000 meters after 5.5 laps in a click inside 6 minutes. So the tempo, I don't think, is that quick. That would suggest to me they're running something around 64s. As Oshkog is confirmed as the winner of the long jump, 6:37, and she finishes off with a flourish, 6:24. Only one athlete has reached that sort of distance, and that was Emilia Jelberg in the 6th and final round. She gave it a bit of a fright, though, that time of that distance of Oshkog. 6:32 she jumped, yes, Jelberg in round 6. Oshkog 6:37 for round 1. Stays safe, however. In the men's 5,000 metres, Copenhagen in second place. Adam Fogg back in sixth place at the moment. Long way this for a 1,500 metre specialist, but you have to learn your trade. And of course, the new shoe technology that has crept in this last 5 or 6 years has enabled athletes who are 1,500 metre specialists to become very, very competent 3,000 and 5,000 metre performers. Indeed, I've heard the 5,000 metres now described as the old 3,000. And the great milers of the 80s, the Crams and John Walkers and Ray Flynns and people like that, could run a great 3,000. 5,000 was beyond them, but in the main, but 3,000 was within their compass, and it's now within the compass of all the great 1,500 metre runners. You look at almost every top 1,500 metre runner on the world scene at the moment, on the men's side at least, and they've run a world-class 5,000 metres. Pacemaker here doing a good job. They're going to come through 3,000 metres here, and actually it's quicker than I thought. Well, not really. It's about 13:20 tempo. They're going to go through in just outside 8 minutes there. I got it about 8:02 at 3,000 meters. So it'll be interesting to see how they go here in the latter stages of this 5,000 meters. I think that's Kiran Tuntivat of Thailand in second place, with the pacemaker having now dropped out, and Kupatir in the lead. Fogg in third, just trying to get back in contact with that leading pair. He's having a good run of it at the moment. This is the critical kilometre. The 4th kilometre is always tough. They come through with 4 laps to run, and Fogg back on the leading pair. Down the back straight, then 3.5 laps to run. This is where it really hurts. The 5,000, if you're not in shape for a 5,000, is a horrible, horrible distance. It's where middle distance and long distance meet. That combination of speed and strength is very, very demanding. Kupatir taking on the burden, though, of leading through these last few laps. Fogg in third place has got to dig deep here. He will have the speed in the latter stages if he can just hang in there for 3 more laps. I get them going through there with 3 laps to go in about 10:15. Well, it would seem my clock is out of sync completely with the big clock on the infield. I guess we'd better believe that one. So ignore what I'm saying. It seems I'm about 5 seconds ahead of the clock on the infield. We shall see come the end, but just mark my card for me. I think the clock on the infield might be about 5 minutes behind. 5 seconds behind, even. Tier trying to wind it up. And doing a good job of it. You have to be patient if you're at the front. Fogg, though, looks really comfortable. 13:25 a couple of months back. It was a real baptism of fire for him at 5,000 metres in one of the Dutch meetings. And as he comes down the home straight, Kupatir may be getting frustrated here. He can't shake off the pair behind him. Goes through with 2 laps to run. And Tuntivat and Fogg moving well behind him. And now, psychologically, you can smell the finish. You can taste the finish. You can almost see the finish because they've got 650 metres to run. And Fogg has just got to dig through this now. Australian born. Runs for Great Britain. 600 metres to run for Adam Fogg. Kiran Tuntivat, the 27-year-old Thai, in second place. He's having a fabulous run too. Down the home straight they come for the penultimate time. And Kupatir not showing any signs of acceleration just yet. But it will be taking its toll, this tempo, and that's what he's just got to keep telling himself. That was a 64. The previous lap was a 64. This could be pretty quick. Fogg now in third place has got to dig deep. This is where Kier, from 300 metres out, where Tier will start to turn the screw. Kupatir, 250 to run. Fogg in third. 200 to run. And Tier changes gear very impressively. He's taken them by shock here. No great response from the pair chasing behind. He's worked hard for this for Tier. How we all love to see a front runner steam away to victory, and he's doing that here tonight. And this will be quick, there's no doubt about it. Watch the clock as he comes down the home straight. Cooper Tier looking quite superb. Crosses the line there now, 13:15:12, the unofficial winning time. Well, that is superb from Tier. Front running 13:15, and I'll tell you what, Adam Fogg has come of age here tonight at 5,000 metres. With that second place, he'll have been well under, or third place, well under 13:20 as well. They've worked for that one, these lads. It doesn't take many prisoners, the 5,000 metres. Well, I'll tell you what, it toughens you up. It makes you a much better 1,500 metre runner. A good tough 5,000.
I må også meget gerne blive, kære publikum, for vi har det her interview, og så skal vi lige snakke med Ida Karstoft op. Så bliv lige et par minutter endnu. Congratulations, Cooper.
Thank you so much. This is an amazing race and amazing environment. Thanks for everyone coming out. And yeah, it was very fun.
I don't know if you heard my introducing the competition today, but I announced that you were a big favorite and that we would love to see you run. And then you win. Thank you so much.
Of course, yeah. I mean, having a crowd here, it's pretty knowledgeable track fans. Yeah, I love it. I love competing. Love running from the front. And yeah, very happy to come away with the win tonight.
Excellent. I will give you some peace and quiet now so you can get your breath again. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you Copenhagen for coming out.
Tusind tak til Cooper. Og så drøner jeg hen
didn't disappoint anybody. Cooper Tier was a strong favorite before the race.
Vi mangler selvfølgelig også en disciplin endnu. Det er 2.000 meter forhindringsløb, som starter lige om lidt, og det bliver spændende. Så bliv her, kære publikum. Ida, søde Ida. Øj, hvor har vi bare alle sammen grædt med dig og grint med dig. For sikke en sæson, du har haft. Prøv lige at sætte et par ord på.
Og det har været meget stor optur og meget hårde nedture. Den her sæson, den har lidt byttet på det hele.
For lige pludselig, så kunne du en hel masse, og det kørte bare super, og så skraldebang.
Ja, man ville tænke, at en sæson med dansk rekord og OL er vellykket, men jeg sidder jo tilbage med en følelse af, at der er så meget mere, og at det ikke er nok for mig.
Nej, for det blev jo ikke det OL, du havde tænkt dig. Det blev et anden form for OL. Du var med, og en god hæpper, og du fik løbet, men du måtte melde fra til løb nummer 2. Hvilket jo var fornuftigt, fordi nu er du så blevet opereret. Hvordan er operationen gået? Altså, går det, som det skal?
Alt er gået rigtig godt, og I har rigtig god fornemmelse med det, og det hele er fint. Så nu har jeg sådan her kære krykker de næste uger, men jeg er rigtig positiv, og jeg ser bare fremad den næste sæson.
Og hvornår er planen, at du må begynde at komme lidt ud på banen? Ikke i piksko, men bare lige ud og snuse lidt?
Håbet er, at jeg løber igen til februar. Nu har jeg jo lagt mange planer, og det er aldrig helt gået helt efter planen. Men lige nu, der er det februar, vi satser, eller går frem mod og har i tankerne. Og så håber jeg jo på at få lov til at konkurrere i løbet af sommeren. Og så jagter jeg det VM, hvis det er muligt.
Alt er muligt, søde Ida. Skal vi ikke give hende en kæmpe hånd for verdens sejeste Ida?
Well, Maja Oshkog winning the long jump with 6 meters 37 from Emilia Jelberg, 6:32. A good event, that one for the Swedes. Petra Banidi Farkas of Hungary in third with 6:17. Only the first 3 over 6 meters tonight in that long jump competition. The Icelandics in 4th and 5th places. Well, Kupatir winning that 5,000 metres in 13.15. It was Kiran Tuntivate of Thailand who took second 13.16. And Adam Fogg, 13.17.08, running a massive personal best. That's a great running from Fogg, hanging on there. So a chance to look at this 100 metres final from earlier on this evening. It was very tight indeed at the line. That one being won by Emma Marda Gier with 10.19. He'd already set a personal best in his heat. Wind 1.4 behind them. David Morgan Harrison taking second place in that race, 10.26. And Kojo Musa of the Aarhus Club making it 1 and 3 for Denmark in front of the home crowd, 10.31, with Nazarov of Estonia in fourth, 10.37. What a good evening it was for he's only 25 years old. Gets the flowers, gets the win, gets the personal best. He gets a very, very good night. And just one event left tonight. That is the men's steeplechase, 2,000 metre steeplechase. Getting ready then for this steeplechase. Just 8 of them out there. Not often run the steeplechase. Dead. Fredrik Sandvik going here. Indeed, most of these men haven't got, or several of these men haven't got personal bests at this distance. It's not the sort of event where times are taken at 2,000 metres being official, but we shall see how they go here. So, let's go through those athletes for you. Duncan Hamilton of the USA goes here. Ole Hesselbjerg of Denmark, Sparta athlete, 5:57 performer. He goes in this as well. Mark Pearce of Great Britain. He's got a 5:39 personal best. Damien Vitch of the Czech Republic, 5:33 best. Casey Coomber of the USA. Will Battershill of Great Britain, 5:26 performer. Vidar Johansson, 5:49 performer. And the Norwegian Fredrik Sandvik is a 5:41 athlete. The promises to be pretty close, this one. These athletes do negotiate the water jump on the first lap. strung out in single file. The impression I get is that this is pretty quick. Of course, the 8-minute barrier for the 3,000 meter steeplechase has been beaten many times now. World record 8:52. Pushing on the pace very hard here. I think that's Will Battershill in second place. Wearing the English vest. The clock on screen not working, the clock on the infield not working. Quite sure why. As they head down the back straight. This is aggressive front running. These three well away now, and after only 2.5 laps, the field stretched out over 50 metres. But he is asking questions of these men, is the leader. Pearce of Great Britain, I think that is in second place. Well, the aggressive running has been shared up at the front end of this one, there's no doubt about that. 3 different athletes have been at the front and pushed it on. And some extravagant running out in front by Pearce, I think it is. Could be heading for a personal best here. Here's the bell this time. 1 lap to run, and that's a useful lead. Hurdling well. Those barriers have to be negotiated. You can't knock them over like in the 110 hurdles or in the high hurdles or the 400-meter hurdles. He's powering on here and putting in a fabulous display. Very hard to identify these athletes as they come round this final bend in the water jump for the last time. Just the 2 of them in it now. Well, that's about a 10-metre lead, and I don't think he's going to be caught here, Mark Pearce. Indeed, extends the way through the latter stage. That's a winning margin of about 15 metres as he comes to the tape. And full of running too. I think there was more in the tank.
I har hygget jer, det har vi. Vi har set atletik i topklasse. Vi håber at se jer næste år. På gensyn, og tusind tak for i aften.
waiting for the results of that one to come up. But in the meantime, let me just confirm for you the results of that men's 5,000 metres from a few minutes ago. Perhaps the race of the night. Cooper Tier winning in 13:15 from Kiran Tuntivate of Thailand, who's run his season's best by some 18 seconds, only missing his personal best by a second or so. Adam Fogg running a personal best by 8 seconds. Brilliant run that from the Brit. The results on our computer system calling him an Australian. He's Australian born, but he has spent most of his life in Australia, but he is running for Great Britain when he can. And Baldvin Magnusson of Iceland, 13:23 in 4th place. Scott Beattie of Great Britain, 5th, 13:30.18. Philip Ingebrigtsen, well, not what he used to be. A season's best for him, the Norwegian, in 7th place, 13:32. And the results of the steeplechase still haven't come up. Apologies for that, but it has been a super 2024 edition of the Games in Copenhagen. Copenhagen Athletics Games have yet again produced many top athletes with a fabulous opportunity to compete. It's thrilled the crowd in the stadium, who have enjoyed some world-class performances dotted amongst the meeting. Cooper Tier winning that 5,000 metres in 13:15 from Tuntivate and Adam Fogg. As I said, Fogg there with that Australian flag beside his name. It should be a Union Jack. He's running for Great Britain these days. Baldvin Magnusson in 4th place for Iceland. Well, the Osterboro Stadium has hosted the meeting really well. The weather has stayed kind enough for these athletes to produce great performances. And plenty of athletes have moved on. 1 or 2 personal bests, plenty of season's bests. And I think the crowd in the Osterboro Stadium have enjoyed their evening. I hope you have too. Well, fitting, I suppose, on after a long, hard season, to finish the meeting on a long, hard race. The steeplechase is always a real toughie. Just waiting for those results to come through from that steeplechase before I say goodbye to you. It was Duncan Hamilton, in fact, of the USA, who set a personal best of 5:19.68 to win the race. Apologies for misidentifying him, but it was almost impossible, as I'm sure you would have seen yourselves, to identify these athletes during the races. Vidar Johansson of Sweden, 2nd, 5:22.58, a personal best for him. Will Battersill of England, 3rd, of Great Britain and England, season's best, 5:28.75. And in 4th place with a personal best, Fredrik Sandvik of Norway, 5:30.63. It's a very rarely run race, the 2,000 metre steeplechase. Obviously 5:19 equates to 8-minute pace for the full distance, so really solid running for Duncan Hamilton of the USA. And he did look full of running at the end. There's more to come. That's maybe a name we should be watching in future years. The USA, of course, such a force in global athletics, not just in distance running, where they don't get the recognition perhaps that they deserve. But Hamilton, what is 3:36 1,500 metre runner, 3:54 miler. He's an 8:16 steeplechaser. That's going to improve. There it is, confirmation of Duncan Hamilton's win with a personal best in the 2,000 metre steeplechase. The final race of the night, 5:19.68. wins by almost 3 seconds from Vidar Johansson of Sweden. William Battersil of Great Britain finishing in 3rd place. I'll tell you what, you take that strength of running 5:19, much of it from the front in the steeplechase, and put it along with 3:36 1500 meter speed, and I'm sure that Duncan Hamilton is going to run a lot quicker than his steeplechase best of 8:16 from last year. Indeed, he's one of those steeplechasers who puzzles me a little bit. He's only run 13:30 for 5,000. Of course, if he can get down towards 13:10, 13:15, he will be a better steeplechaser as well. Easier said than done, of course, but a great win for Duncan Hamilton. Well, that concludes the action at the Copenhagen Athletics Games. From all of us, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you very soon. Goodbye.